Welcome to Impact Monday, week number 2, here on SFL YouTube. I'm Cameron Irvine, alongside Paul Sarp. We're ready to break down all of what you may have missed in week number 2, and we're ready tonight for what I'm calling the most underrated rivalry in the SFL. Paul Sarp, Carolina and Charleston tonight from Fulton Moultrie Memorial Stadium. How you doing tonight, Paul?
I'm doing great, Cam. Excited to be here for this Impact Monday. Again, like you said, underrated rivalry here. It's the Corbin Cup. What's there not to be excited for?
Exactly. We're going to get into all that tonight. We're going to have interviews, PGI interviews, post-game interviews from Ashley Jackson. Mike O'Neill's going to break down the matchup. Paul and I are going to talk rivalries in sports, and we're going to go all over all the highlights and all the star performers from the week. Let's get started. First, our headlines from week number 2. Paul, the Kings are back on top. Jacksonville wipes away Portland in the second dominant performance of the early season. Houston heartbreak. The Headhunters lose another game by 3 points or less with an overtime loss to DC. And the lopsided rivalry, Paul, Alamo City 8-0 against Fort Worth since the Toros entered the league. Let's start with Jacksonville, man. This team, they're putting up some big numbers. O.J. Bruin, you think he's happy to be out of Queen City? Man, he is having a ball in Jacksonville.
Absolutely. These Jacksonville Kings, they're silencing all the doubters and all the haters, and they're saying we're back. We're ready to. We're showing why we're one of the best franchises in SFL history here, Cam.
And in fact, Paul, they just tied Queen City for the most franchise wins of all time with 120 with their win this week and Queen City's loss to San Diego. Let's look at the players of the week. We had a couple honorable mentions not on the list, but it was a doozy of a week out there. Johnny Reno, man, this guy, 31 of 35, 314 yards, 5 touchdowns, no picks. Ace Fennick right behind him, 25 of 28, 305 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Christopher Ochoa doubled up on the graphic here early in the show, 223 yards and 11 receptions, added a touchdown. BDG Hollywood, 262 yards at the eye in Florida, 3 touchdowns this week. John Barnhart, 4 picks, 64 return yards, flipped the field, and a couple honorable mentions goes out to Keenan Samuels of Baltimore, 9 tackles, a pick 6, his second of his career, and then Liam Hammer with a punt and kickoff return that we'll get to this week. But Paul, out of all those names, who gets your crown? Who was the player of the week for you?
Player of the week. It's so hard because there's so many good performances this week. As far as these names, I would have to go with BDG Hollywood. Again, he's running all over teams, and my own team being included in week 1. So I would have to give my crown to BDG Hollywood.
So BDG gets the crown from Paul Sarp. Those are your players of the week for week number 2. Carolina and Charleston getting going here later tonight, Paul, and I'm super excited to see what Charleston does as a bounce back, or as I guess an encore rather.
Sure.
After they beat Houston last week, they looked really sharp. Not to throw a rhyme in there for you, Paul, but yeah, I mean they look good. Carolina looked good too. They led Mexico City by 14 in the second half, and just really ready to see what these two teams have to show tonight.
It's gonna be an interesting one here tonight, Cam. Again, the Corbin Cup, both these teams looking to have another strong performance here tonight, and what better way to do it against one of your rivals?
Let's get to some highlights. Baltimore and Mexico City. First play of the game, Paul. Ivory Irvin, he's gone. This guy, Baltimore scored on the first play last week. They score on the opening kickoff this week.
Ivory Irvin, it's just what he does. Again, going back to last postseason in the playoffs, Ivory Irvin returning kicks then.
So, Mexico City, they got to get something going here, and Phoenix Jones gets them going on the first play of the next possession after Mexico City got hit in the mouth. Jordan Sipe gets a completion under his belt, gets a first down. No more Mike Daggs there. Hits another tight end. They tacked on a field goal. Let's pick things up 17-3 just before the end of the first half. This one-handed catch, beautiful, down the field, and that helped Mexico City get into scoring position. Bartley with the catch.
And what a catch there. One-handed catch to, again, trying to fight back. Down 14. What a beautiful catch there.
Right over Giovanni Bolt, who got hurt early in the game but did come back in. Jordan Sipe finds Ray Bentley later in the drive inside the 10-yard line. Makes a couple of people miss. Gets down to the 4. They weren't done with Ray. Quickly back to the line. Bentley open again. Mexico City cut the deficit down to 17-10, 20-10 at the half. We pick it up in the third. Wigmore deep. It's Irvin again. Terrible coverage by Gerard Brody. He's gone again, Paul.
Just what a throw by Jack Wigmore. Again, Baltimore just making big play after big play. It's hard to stop this.
Mexico City trying to fight back, but Nate Brown in this defensive front is just relentless. Had to get some grass out of his helmet. Mexico City tacks on a field goal from Chaz Blackwater, makes it 27-13 late in the third quarter. So, hanging around. Next drive, Jordan Sipe. Oh, that's no good. Baltimore brought the blitz, and Keenan Samuels takes it back. We talked about his honorable mention player of the week. Makes it 34-13, so you think it's over. Not even 2 minutes later, Jordan Sipe deep down the field to Nick Lockett. This guy has been awesome for Sipe over the first 2 weeks, and Mexico City's back in it.
Lockett just burning the defense here, burning his defender. What a beautiful throw by Jordan Sipe there.
Final minute. Jordan Sipe sacked by Saron Yates IV. He passes, gets in the top 10 rather, and gets to number 9 on the all-time sack list. So congratulations to Saron Yates IV for the accomplishment. Terrell Cooper got hurt on the play, and that was the end of Mexico City. Baltimore wins 34-20. Paul, let's talk about these Vultures. They just seemingly, the difference in every one of their games are these big giant plays. They get the kickoff return opener from Ivory Irvin. They get the pick 6 from Keenan Samuels. They get the long ball to Ivory Irvin for the touchdown. That's 21 of their 34 points that they just got on chunk plays. If I was playing Baltimore at this point, Paul, I would just try to keep them in front of me.
That's all you can do. Again, how do you stop this Baltimore offense? And it's not even their offense. Again, they're making plays on defense. To be able to, Keenan Samuels, what an incredible pick 6 to just extend the lead. And as far as, that was just week 2. You date all the way back to last season in Baltimore's history. It's just something they do. Jack Wigmore's 6th season in the league. Again, his IQ just allows him to make those plays. His superstar receivers, they're always in position. And again, I don't know if these teams are scouting Baltimore, but if you want man coverage, you should have ran zone. If you want zone coverage, you should have ran man. It's just...
what do you do, right? And that's
exactly
what these teams have been asking themselves for the last 2 years in this league, and Minnesota was the last one to do it. Maybe someone should watch some film on what they were able to accomplish, because that's all we got over the last 20 games, it feels like, Paul.
Again, it's just, it's so easy for Baltimore. And again, everyone in the league should be studying Baltimore. What are they doing? Why? What are we missing that they have? What are they doing that we aren't doing?
So Baltimore gets the win. Mexico City, we'll see them next week, Paul. We've got Mexico City, Houston next week. That's going to be a critical game in the South to see if Jordan Sipe and the rest of that Mexico City Aztec team can bounce back. Let's get back to the highlights. Let's go to the snow. Arizona and Denver. Opening drive for Arizona looked pretty good. That's TJ Punk from Ashley Jackson. Arizona's in the end zone, 7-0. Let's check in on the snow. Yay Verity. No, that field goal's no good. Struggling in the weather. Not too many Denver kickers miss at home. Let's check in on Cliff Allen. Can he put it through? Yeah, he's still pretty good. 46 yards, although didn't have the juice that he usually does. But it's still snowing, and DJ Moses fumbles the football, gives Denver a possession. Up to that point, Paul, no momentum at all for Denver, and that gave him a little juice.
Denver definitely needed the ball there. Again, down 10 points to get back in the game there. Again, holding Arizona at home.
Kindler recovers the fumble, but Bailey O'Shaughnessy gets the ball and goes nowhere. Stopped in the backfield by J.R. Lawless. So Denver has to punt. Remember, it's still snowing. And Denver's special teams is still making blunders. Punt blocked. Arizona gets it in excellent field position, and Ashley Jackson takes advantage. Touchdown back of the end zone, Connor Weston. 17-0 Arizona now in the second half. Gene Struthers, Bailey O'Shaughnessy has to get moving. I said Jared McChesney last week. Bailey will make sure I don't forget that Jared is long gone. Just like O'Shaughnessy on this play. Touchdown Denver. They're right back in it, 17-7. 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. Jackson fires it down the field. This was the first moment where you felt like, Paul, maybe Denver going to do a little something with this game here.
Yeah, and if the Rick meter was there, you're higher percentage there for Denver. Again, Denver fighting to get back in this game here.
Struthers fires it outside to Riley Quintero. He'd be in the snow in a moment. First and 10 at the 30. Handoff to number 30. O'Shaughnessy cutting hard to the Arizona 19-yard line. Halfway through the third. Still 17-7. Same drive. Another completion for Gene Struthers. That's Greg McDowell with the catch. And then, watch top of the screen, Riley Quintero, out route, pylon, touchdown, roll over, snow angel. See, told you it'd be in the snow. 17-14, 14 unanswered for Denver. They're not done. Bailey O'Shaughnessy with the spin, the block from Jeremy Mosley, and Denver leads the game, 21-17.
What a beautiful run by Bailey O'Shaughnessy. Again, just spinning and walking into the end zone untouched.
Get another look at it. Look at this blocking down the field. Look at Ari Mills, the fullback, 44. Blam, right at the 5-yard line. Everything was clicking for Denver, but the last 4 minutes were frantic. Arizona, Ashley Jackson leads her crew down the field. Weston gets another catch. 24-21 Arizona leads. Surely that's the end of the Denver Nightwings. They're just going to lie down, go to 0-2, be done with it. Gene Struthers, I don't think so. That's caught. A broken tackle. Logan Keel is gone. 28-24, late hit at the end of it. Denver takes the lead. All right, so for sure, Paul, Arizona's going to lie down. They're not going to. No! Flip out DJ Moses. Touchdown. Arizona regains the lead, 31-28.
What a crazy, crazy game here, Cam. Final 4 minutes, that's just unbelievable for that many scoring changes.
Denver's got one last shot. 3rd and 10 of their own 33. Struthers down the field. It's caught. Down to 14 seconds left of the Arizona 44. Last chance. Hail Mary for Struthers. Can he be the hometown hero? Hardly ever happens. Sack. That's why they call it a Hail Mary. That's it. 31-28, Arizona beats Denver. Ashley Jackson caught up with Arizona's Eddie Gage and Denver's Robert Brady Jr. in post-game interviews. Let's take a listen.
We are back with PGI and with Hall of Famer and head coach of the Arizona Scorpions, Mr. Eddie Gage. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Got the win, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Hey, I definitely understand that, and I hear the crowd still live in the background, so I'm not going to take too much of your time. But what do you think I know, right? What do you think the keys to your success were this evening?
Number 1, taking care of the ball. Number 2, trying to contain Bailey O'Shaughnessy. As I said in practice all week, the 2 biggest keys of the game was limiting turnovers and containing Bailey O'Shaughnessy.
Absolutely. And so, how excited are you for your opponents next week?
It's going to be another tough challenge. Like I said, they found a way to get 5 wins last week. They haven't played yet this week. 5 wins last season. Tom West and company turned that thing around, and they got Bullbine over there helping them out. So it's going to be another competitive battle in their house. It's probably going to be cold over there again next week up in upstate New York, so it's going to be a challenge.
Looking forward to it, Coach. Have a fantastic night. Go ahead and join the party. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
All right, and I am back with another good friend of mine, Mr. Robert Brady Jr. He is the defensive end for Denver Nightwings. So, Robert, Tough loss tonight, man. I will say that you guys put up
Tough,
a heck of a fight. It was a great
tough.
show. Um, what do you think that your team did right? And what do you think that your team could have worked on? Quickly for me.
So our D, especially our front four.
Hmm.
There's not too many teams out there that gonna mess with us. Our front four is good. Number 99, you know, before I got there, he was already doing this thing. Um, I came in to be support. Unfortunately, I'm not quite there yet, but I'm growing. I'm progressing. But our defense is the thing. Right now, our offense is kind of trying to figure things out. We got a rookie quarterback. It's good. I mean, Gene is good. GS, he's good. The thing is, he needs to figure out where he fits in the majors and what he can and can't do. And I think that's one thing that the coaches and everybody are trying to figure out. Today's game was a prime example.
Man, I really appreciate your time. And
Right.
all right, so I'll see you very soon.
Yep.
All right, Cam.
Thank you, Ashley, for those interviews afterwards. And Paul, it's Robert Brady's on a Denver team that is in a position where Seattle is, where Queen City is. Just teams that are that have young squads and are looking to build a type of culture. But Denver has had a great type of culture for years, and they almost pulled this upset, Paul. They did not make it easy on the Scorpions.
And what a game. Again, I'm sure Arizona is super thankful to be leaving the snow, coming out with a win, going back to the warm weather in Arizona. And as far as Robert Brady is what a great locker room guy, what a great person to have on a team. And just he's a rookie, but he's going to be leading by example. Again, trying to fit into this culture. It's kind of like a rebuilding culture, but again, in Denver, they have winning success. So again, what a great game all around.
He mentioned Hugo Reynoso too, not 99, Paul, and it's got to feel good to be a defensive lineman in a place where other defensive linemen that are more veteran than he is are having success, right? Because that all you got to do is build yourself up, and you're going to be in a place that can make you successful. So it's going to be interesting to see what Denver does down the stretch, but they do come up short against Arizona. Speaking of coming up short, sorry, Paul. Let's get to some blowouts from this week. Seattle lost to Vancouver, 34-16. Trellis Blanton, 30. I see that Vancouver's box score is incorrect. Sorry about that. But Trellis Blanton, 35 of 51, 310 yards. Not a bad game from Blanton. Blanton didn't have a bad week one either. It's just the offense has been too inconsistent. David Gears, nearly 100 yards, 12 catches, a touchdown. David Horrell did his thing. Seattle, though, 8 of 18 on third down, and they won the turnover battle 4-1, but still lost the game 34-16. Vancouver started with 2 straight road games. They play the next 3 at home. What were your thoughts on the Seattle loss, Paul?
As far as the Seattle loss, it just came down to the offense not gelling, and again, the defense staying on the field. Again, Vancouver has a great offense, so it just kind of wore our defense down, and we just couldn't put up enough points on the offensive side.
37-17 week 1, 34-16 week 2. It felt very similar there. All right, Jacksonville went to Portland and smoked them, 38-17. O.J. Bruin, 34 of 48, 452, 4 touchdowns. And Christopher Ochoa, we mentioned, 223 and a touchdown. Jorge Torres was all over the place, too. 12 tackles, 3 passes defended, even had a sack on a safety blitz and got a pick. 500 total yards of offense for Jacksonville. Meanwhile, Portland continues the trend of really slow starts. They won 4 of their last 6 last season, but are right back in the 0-2 hole this season. Ezekiel Love, 186 all-purpose yards, wasn't enough. Israel Adams, decent day. Leo Morris, anytime your slot corner has 13 tackles to lead your team, that's not necessarily where you want to be, and they are giving up a league-worst 479 yards per game. I don't know what to do with Portland, Paul, but they've lost all the momentum that they had at the end of last season.
And for them to get hot there at the end of the last season, again, kind of similar season here in season 20 as last season for Portland. But I would think that they're gonna kind of tighten up their defense, and I have a feeling that we're gonna be seeing something here in the future from Portland.
Let us know how that music sounds, everyone, if it's too loud or too soft as well. We didn't have it last week, our APM Music soundtrack, so just let us know how that's sounding. All right, continuing around the league, San Diego beat down Queen City 42-20. Again, John Lakeman, kind of like Trellis Blanton, did not have a bad game. Didn't have a great game either. 21-36, 245. If you actually watch the game, Paul, you notice that Lakeman's incompletions, while there were only 15 of them, were just killers because they were putting them behind the sticks. He was launching balls down the field they just weren't open, and they were putting Queen City in bad positions. Jet Zero had a decent day, $133 and a touchdown. Orion Horace was everywhere, just like Torres was. 11 tackles, had a pick at linebacker. The defense really broke down in the red zone, giving up 3 touchdowns on 3 San Diego trips. For these Mavericks, holy moly, Sudo Nakai, 71 yards, 3 touchdowns. We saw him last week. Skippy with the $2 super chat. Music is hurting her ears. Oh, you poor thing. I'll give it a slight tweak just for you. Benji Matson, 5 catches for 100 yards. He was really good. Tom Krieg, 2 pass deflections, 2 interceptions. And how about this, Paul? Scar Patterson eclipsed 10,000 career passing yards in 26 games. He hasn't even made the playoffs yet. He's averaging 384 passing yards for his career. What an accomplishment in San Diego's 2-0.
Scar Patterson just really lighting it up this season. Again, leading the league in touchdowns here with 8 so far through 2 weeks. Again, what a great accomplishment in such a short time already for Scar.
Skippy at the $2 super chat told me to turn the music just a bit down. Cliff Allen wants me to turn it up. You give $2 super chat, maybe I'll turn it back up. And Skippy's got to suffer, right? That's the way the world goes. But yeah, San Diego all over Queen City. They improve to 2-0. On Friday, Atlanta all over Florida. This box score looks close, but Atlanta led 31-3 at the half. BDG Hollywood 262 and 3 touchdowns. He carried them. Valentine had a sack, and Papineau with a couple of picks as well. Billy Ray Valentine with another takedown for his career. Ron Cochran, man, this guy is struggling. He was the lowest rated quarterback last season. 4 more interceptions for Cochran in this one. 27 out of 46, 326. Bullet Boletsky, longest run was 12 yards on the day. And then E.J. Minchin and Stephen Bush. This is what you don't often see, right, Paul? They're not balanced. 225 of 326 passing yards come from 2 people.
And this is just not typical of what we see from the Florida Storm. Again, starting the season 0-2, we're used to seeing them winning a lot of games. I know they have the week 1 curse, but heading into week 3, they got to, like you said, kind of just balance it out, get Bullet going. Bullet Boletsky, again, that's a former MVP right there, and he shouldn't be only getting 14 carries a game.
Cliff Allen with the $5 super chat told me to turn it up, so I did. Sudo Nakai wanted bluegrass music for $5 super chat. I don't have any royalty free, but if you send me some, I'll play some next week, right? No, not a problem there. DJ Woods, yeah, turn it up. I did. Thank you, DJ. I appreciate you. In the chat, Atlanta takes care of Florida 37-27. Paul, you can definitely tell we are feeling a lot better than we were last week. That was a rough way to start health-wise last week.
Yeah, you and I both, again, week 1 I wasn't feeling too hot, then week 2 you weren't feeling so hot, so it's good that we both can finally get on the same page now, and good thing we're both feeling better now.
I remember last week Skip said, I just want Cam to smile. Well, I'm definitely smiling a little bit more here tonight. After the Atlanta-Florida game, Ashley Jackson caught up with Atlanta's Siege Falco. Another post-game interview.
Thank you for joining me on PGI, where I am with my good friend, Siege Falco. He is the GM and wide receiver for the Atlanta Swarm, who had a very big win tonight against the Florida Storm, 27-37. Brother, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. It feels good to get that W.
I bet it does. I bet it does. But, you guys won in such a dominating fashion. Was this a personal game for you guys?
Oh yeah. There was kind of some things that went on in the background. I'm not going to get too far into it or call anyone out.
Mhm.
There's good people over there in Florida. I got a lot of respect for Mighty and Art and EJ. There's a lot of good people over there. But especially being a divisional game, we had to step up and prove that, we're leading. We're going to lead this division this season because we're here to prove a point. Like, we're a playoff caliber team again. Like, we're going to the championship. Hopefully. There's so many good playoff teams that it's honestly like a coin flip.
And one more question. What do you think the key to your success was this evening?
It's got to be BDG Hollywood. He was running all over that field. He had like 200 yards in the first half. Like, he just said, "Give me the ball," like the beginning of the game, and we just said, "All right, like, take it. Like, you're clearly doing the work." Like, I maybe got 3 or 4 catches. Like, I'm happy because I had my people eating. The defense was on fire thanks to Swole, and air traffic control was all over the field. Like, it's great to finally see our rookies and even our veterans finally get some love, and even our offensive linemen. Eddie Gage and Damon. I think he was on the call too.
Yeah, Damon. Yeah,
Damon.
Yeah.
My bad. But yeah, they did such a great job today, and I just appreciate, that's team. It's just nice to have, people that really care about the team and the success.
Good stuff. Siege, I'll see you next week on the field. Thank you for your time, brother.
Alrighty, you have a good night.
You too. Back to you.
Thank you, Ashley. Always great to hear from Siege Falco and all the players from around the league. Let's break down some of our storylines tonight in our Impact Monday game of the week between Carolina and Charleston. The Corbin Cup, as we've mentioned multiple times. So people may be asking, this is the 13th meeting between Carolina and Charleston. How did this rivalry get its name? Well, I asked Jack Brown this question earlier this week, and he said, well, at the Vegas convention, I was talking with Harish about who, we should have a name for this rivalry. We should call it something. And Liam Crowder, who was a little excited that night, grabbed the phone from Harish and said, I love Jeremy Corbyn. Now, if you don't know, Jeremy Corbyn is just some random British politician because Liam Crowder doesn't do anything in his life outside of British politics. And Jack Brown said, all right, should we call it the Corbin Cup? And they said, sure. And Harish in the chat says, yeah, I don't even remember it. Yeah, it was conventions get crazy. But you know what, Paul? That's where the magic happens in the
Absolutely.
SFL. That's how these things are born, and now we have the Corbin Cup.
And that's where it all starts, Cam. Again, what a better name for this rivalry than the Corbin Cup.
Well, I could probably think of hundreds, but that's okay because that's what the rivalry is called now. So that's what we're going to go with. Biff Mark with a $5 super chat. This is the San Diego era. We're going to be talking about some undefeated teams later, and I will talk all about why I kind of agree with you. Back to Charleston and Carolina. Mark Martin is still seeking revenge, playing his former team for the third time. Does not have a pick, does not have a W against his old team. So we'll see what Mark Martin can do tonight against those Skyhawks. And like I said at the top of the show, an underrated rivalry. Did you know, Paul? Carolina, 58 wins. Charleston, 57 wins. That's both 15th. Top 15 all time. Pretty surprising.
How about that? Yeah, how about that? Again, Charleston, if Charleston can come in and steal a win, they're all tied up here. And again, makes the rivalry even stronger. Who's going to have the higher win total for their franchise history?
If Charleston wins tonight, they will tie Carolina, or Carolina can pull further ahead. Let's talk some rivalries in sports, Paul. Who are your teams? What rivalries are special to you like this game is special to these two teams?
As far as me personally, again, me being a Steelers fan, AFC North battles, you have the Ravens, Bengals, and the Browns. And what makes a rivalry? It's the history between the two teams. Again, going to war against one another time and time again, trying to be the kings of the divisions. So I just get super excited when my Steelers play any of those teams. Again, you just want to destroy your rivals. That's what makes the rivalry, is just the head-to-head action between the two. You just don't want to see the other team ever win a game.
As a Packer guy, I've always said I hate the Bears, I respect the Vikings, and I laugh at the Lions, and that's been kind of how it's gone for over the years. Of course, the Lions got the last laugh this season, but how about in the SFL, Paul? You know, you got Vice Wars, Denver and Vegas. You got the Corbin Cup now, Carolina and Charleston, Florida, Jacksonville you can throw in there. But Minnesota, Indianapolis taking over recently. Harish wants me to say bad things about Gino with the $5 super chat. Why is everybody so negative on these super chats? Let's see. Gino McFly. Somebody get me. Oh yeah, he's. Somebody get me his stat line, and I'll talk about how low rated he is all time. I don't know. But what's your favorite SFL rivalry, Paul? What do you like, and what are you hoping takes off in the future?
Again, as far as me personally, with Seattle now joining the league, again, you love seeing Seattle and Vancouver, even though Vancouver, we still haven't gotten the best of them yet. I love playing the Portland Fleet, the Nemesis Fleet rivalry. I think that's an upcoming one. And like you mentioned, Jacksonville, Florida, Battle of Florida, and Corbin Cup. Again, Battle of Carolinas tonight.
Shrevin in the chat, $10 super chat, say bad things about Harish. Now that is easy. I still can't believe Harish got up after the 8th time he got injured. Harish doesn't control his phone at conventions. He is the least attractive of the two brothers. I think that's all I got for now. And hey, speaking of rivalries, Paul, how about if Gino McFly picks off a pass intended for Harish Prasad tonight to get him back? Now that would be interesting. Jack Wall, $5 super chat. On a scale of 9 to 10, what did that say? How hot is Harish? I don't think that I am the professional that can speak on Harish's hotness, but somebody else might. Harish wants me to say bad things about myself. My hair is never straight. I can't grow out this beard. And my lighting is not as cool as Paul. Okay, I think that's.
Hey, Cam, I'll trade you. I'll trade you some facial hair for some hair up top.
All right, well, yeah, I can give you some of that. It might be a little gray. All right, let's get off of that. Let's go to teams who impressed this week. Let's go to San Antonio, Fort Worth, and Alamo City. Back on Friday night, Brad Jones, he impressed. He's another great candidate for a player of the week this week. He was a monster. Put Alamo City up early, 7-0.
Again, what a run by Brad Jones. What an overall game he had. Again, it's just the first quarter, getting first touchdown for himself to start the game.
This from 94 yards away. Get out of here. Not even touched. I love the touchdown celebration, too, from Jones before that. The little smoking guns, put it in the holster. And Alamo City is up 14-0. Marcus Dunhill trying to mount the comeback. This highlight reel is just full of touchdowns, just so you know. Kate Stevens definitely inbounds on that one. Makes it 14-7. Alamo City. We pick it up in the third quarter, 21-17. Brad Jones, are you kidding me? Spinning into no man's land until he was gone. Jones again, 28-17. That was a pretty run.
Again, Brad Jones just lighting this defense up, just kind of having a BDG Hollywood performance. Again, both super incredible performances. Again, Brad Jones just lighting this Fort Worth defense up.
Jones didn't have as much yardage as BDG, but he certainly had the touchdowns, and he broke that one out there. Fort Worth just felt like they were playing behind from the opening gun of this rivalry, or, well, one team may call it a rivalry, but Alamo City might say, well, it's not a rivalry until you beat us. Fort Worth definitely didn't beat him on this night. Ace Fennick gets one for him, makes it 35-17, late third quarter. Marcus Dunhill trying to get something going down the field. Albert Begin takes that away. And, yeah, Alamo City ended up winning the game easily. They take the win. Minnesota at Los Angeles. This is one of the most fun games of the week. You may not have seen this if you're just a casual SFL viewer, but watch these highlights. They're a thing of beauty. Chris Komisak with his second touchdown in as many weeks from Johnny Reno. That was his first touchdown. Johnny Reno going for touchdown number 2. That pass is caught by Jay Taylor. 14-0 Minnesota. At this point, Paul, Minnesota still had not been stopped. 10 offensive possessions, 10 scores dating back to last week. Los Angeles would try to get the offense moving. Sully Richardson getting the football down the field, the Minnesota 34-yard line. Now Logan Jack gets a nice block on the outside from LZ Pryor and a first down. Minnesota 24. Now 3rd down and 10. Still the same score. Richardson fires down the field, caught. Pryor down to the 7-yard line. But Los Angeles would have to settle for a field goal thanks to Derek Meerkat, who had a pick earlier in the half. That made it 14-3. Legends still on top. Late first half, Colin Hart. Are you kidding me? A spin inside on your own goal line? You can't let that happen if you're the Lycans defense.
Again, dangerous spin there, Cam, like you said, but again, what a great run.
Reno trying to make things happen. Remember, they had the ball with 1 minute and 6 seconds on their 1-yard line. 38 seconds to go. Pass caught. Taylor out of bounds. 37 seconds left. Next play. Reno outside. Bachagalupi, 1st and goal at the 10-yard line. Stops the clock. I mean, perfect execution. Reno again.
Wow.
What a throw. Caught for
Wow.
the touchdown. Actually, France had the last touchdown and caught this one too. 21-3 heading into the half. Just perfection. Reno down the field again. Jay Taylor, touchdown number 4 for Reno. At this point, it was 28-3, and all hope was lost. Sully Richardson is sacked. I mean, why are we even showing this? Obviously, you know why. Things got interesting. Colin Hart on the handoff. It's a fumble. Rochelle Colston forces it. Yosef picks it up, and now all of a sudden LA had life.
Again, LA down a lot of points here, Cam, and again, just fighting to come back in this game. A lot of time left on the clock.
28-10. Logan Jack finally gets LA in the end zone. Ensuing kickoff. You know, Paul, if we're showing a special teams play, it's either really
Know
good
what's
or really
coming.
bad. Adam Banks fumbled again! Back-to-back fumbles for Minnesota, and Los Angeles takes over. 28-13. They got a field goal off of that. And guess what, Paul? Touchdowns beat field goals. Buchanan Simons with the score.
Sure do.
9 minutes left. 35-13. LA still fighting. Sully Richardson deep. Jack Flash. It was so deep the defender fell over. Flash gets to the 13-yard line. At this point, Josh Zirkle had lost his mind. 2nd and 1 at the 4. Richardson. Jack. That's a touchdown. Just barely. 35-20. LA not giving up. 4:30 to go. Same score. Richardson. Are you kidding me? Who's guarding Flash? Flash in a foot race. He's a tight end. B.J. Lovelace caught up to him. 1 minute later. Richardson. That's a touchdown. Are you kidding me? 35-27. They can't possibly. They can't possibly. Oh, they recover,
Oh.
Paul. Are you kidding me? Next play, Sully throws the game away. Cody Griffin takes it away. That is just how it's been going for LA lately, Paul, but what an effort at the end.
Incredible effort by Los Angeles to, again, come back from, what was it, 28-3 and make it a one-possession game with a chance to tie the game up. Again, just an unfortunate tip pass there. Great defense by the Minnesota Legend defense, and it was wraps.
Griffin tipped it to himself there to end the game. DC Houston, this was last night, and it was wild. Shabazz Synergy completes that to Josh Gill. More from him later. DC would take a 7-0 advantage in Houston. Dave Burr had not thrown an incompletion up to this point. 6 for 6. Finds Mike St. Green. What a grab. With 5 minutes to go in the first half. Pretty defensive game all in all. 3rd and 10. 1 minute later, Dave Burr trying to get Houston on the board. He's finding everyone. That is McCutcheon with the reception for Houston. Gets him down inside the 10-yard line. And then it's Burr over to G.P. Wells. And Wells with a couple spins and a couple of blocks gets in the score. Now we're tied at 7. This may be the wildest last 30 seconds of a half that we'll see all season, Paul. First, 50-yard field goal, Sonny J. Didn't miss all last season. Nope. That's short. DC gets the ball back. Very next play, Kevin Say at this point had 3 total yards. Say, it's gone. Kevin Say, 60 yards. Right before the half makes it 14-7 Dragons. All right. Houston, 16 seconds left. Burr picked. DeSantis with the interception. More from him later. So DC gets a chance at a record 56.5-yard field goal before the half ended.
Oh my gosh.
It is no good. So we get to the third quarter. After all that, Shabazz Synergy still hasn't thrown an incompletion, and Mike Churchill is out of here. DC builds a 21-7 lead.
What a performance by Shabazz Synergy again. Just like you said, no incompletions up to this point, late in the third quarter. What a game by Shabazz.
Burr hits St. Green for the score. Spoiler alert: Shabazz Synergy 1 incompletion in the game. 1. That's it. Houston did their best despite DC's incredible efficiency. Dave Burr down 21-14 is going to be sacked here. Got to show the defensive line some love. That forces a 4th down and a field goal. It was, next possession. It's picked off by John DeSantis. 3rd interception for DC. Later, that forced a field goal. Houston down 4. Burr to Mike St. Green, and St. Green breaks a couple tackles, gets down the field, and Houston all of a sudden has new life to win this game. 4th and 4. Dave Burr, clutch. Greg Corky sheds a tackle, gets down to the 5-yard line. Next play, Burr, same play. Corky. Houston takes the lead. The Heartbreak Kids, Paul, finally are looking like they're going to get out of a jam. 18 seconds left. Shabazz Synergy. He is a wizard. Josh Gill catches it in field goal range to set up a party in Houston. 35-yarder to send us to OT. We got extra football for the 2nd consecutive week in SFL Season 20. We're tied at 24. We talked about that DC efficiency. Houston didn't have much. Riley Hughes with the interception. That was Houston's 4th turnover of the night. Synergy now on 3rd and 18. Go to your trusty Gill. The pass is caught, and the Dragons win 27-24 in overtime. Ashley Jackson caught up with Mike Churchill after the game.
Welcome back to PGI with my last interview. Newfound friend, Mr. Mike Churchill. He is a wide receiver for the DC Dragons. And you guys had a fantastic nail-biting win just now over the Houston Hyenas in overtime, 27-24. How does it feel?
Man, I don't know how to describe it. It's you get yourself so invested in these games, you know. It's just heart pounding all the way down to the wire. They've got a really good football team down there. You know, we knew it was going to be a hard-fought game. The rivalry between DeMond and Destro, you know, they're always close. They scored right there at the end, and it just about tore my heart out. But I knew we had a little bit of time, and man, Shabazz was playing lights out football tonight. Just, you know, I think he had 1 incompletion, which was a batted ball. And then, you know, just clutch plays. And with Potty on your team, you know, if you get down to the 35, 40-yard line, look out. And that's exactly how it played out for us. So So excited, so happy to get that first win. It's really important.
Awesome. Happy for you. Good luck the rest of the season. And I can't see what you guys do for the rest of the season as well. All
Oh, it's
right.
awesome. Thanks for having me.
You are very welcome. All right. Back to you, Cam and Polly.
Thank you, Ashley. We've got some super chats to catch up on. Skippy, 199. Say nice things about Tristan. Well, before I can, Curtis with 199. Don't say nice things about Tristan, so that's kind of a wash. So not much I can do with that. 269 from Harish Prasad says, give Curtis a backhanded compliment. Okay. Curtis, you radiate everything. All right. How about another $4.99 from Curtis? Give Skippy Curtis a backhanded compliment. Okay. You are. It's good to have a friend that is much lower to the ground than me. How about that? And then $5 from DJ Woods. Next person to donate, say good, mean things to somebody, will have to record themselves doing 50 push-ups. And that put the end. That put the kibosh on that. Nobody wants to record themselves doing 50 push-ups. So DJ, the authority in the chat this evening, apparently. Minnesota, we saw on that highlight an undefeated team, but there's plenty out there. Actually, 8 going into week 3. Charleston could be the 9th if they win tonight. We're going to break down what we think about some undefeated teams and get us started, Paul.
Sure, one of the first undefeated teams. Again, we saw them earlier in the show. Arizona Scorpions. My apologies. As far as Ashley Jackson, she is H-E-R her. She is not afraid to take the deep shot. You have a running back in DJ Moses. Again, so far this season, he's been good for 100 rushing yards a game and a rushing touchdown a game, 50 yards receiving and a touchdown a game. You got Connor Weston catching dime after dime from Ashley Jackson. You have Eddie Gage leading the defense. What else can you say there? Again, 4 interceptions on the season. Iverson Gamble with the pick, 2 picks, 8 sacks for the defense. And again, that's just the theme for all of these undefeated teams, is just the defense getting to the quarterback and forcing turnovers.
Don't feel bad about saying Arizona a couple of times, Paul, because Ashley Jackson said Houston Hyenas, which is something that we all fall into. And Taylor on NBC, did you hear her say Kansas not city? She said SCHITTIY. Anyway, yeah, it was rough, and she's on national television and NBC, so we all do this. Big Stanky with the $4.99 super chat. Who would you say is the Detroit Lions of this league? 20 seasons in there, must be at least one team that's constantly disappointing. We're gonna get to that, Paul. Well, see, y'all are only been here for 2 seasons, so we're gonna get to that after we hit some unbeaten teams. Let's talk about San Diego. Biff Markham at the $5 super chat earlier saying this is San Diego's era, and I gotta say, Paul, after week 1, you say week 1, right? After week 2, you could say Queen City, but eventually people are gonna run out of ahs for San Diego and run out of excuses to why they're not one of the better teams in the league. They've been unstoppable. Scar Patterson has looked terrific, and the defense looks improved, and San Diego goes to Motor City in a really intriguing game this upcoming week. Who else you want to talk about, Paul?
Again, we mentioned them earlier, Jacksonville Kings. Like we mentioned earlier, just silencing all the haters. Again, you got the Lexington Kings. Again, you got 5 or 6 Lexington Miners on the team. Again, just young gun rookies making an impact. OJ Bruin, his leadership, just helping this young receiving core excel this season so far. And again, you got TJ Harper, Stan Diamond, the Nur brothers making impact on defense, Sean Sanders running the ball for them. And like I mentioned with Arizona, you got 5 interceptions, 7 sacks, 1 fumble recovered in 2 games. That's a pretty impressive start for these Kings.
I want to go over to Minnesota because Johnny Reno has 6 incompletions and no turnovers in 2 games. That is unheard of. Minnesota is also the last team to beat the Baltimore Vultures. So if you were to ask me to do a power rankings right now, I would tell you Baltimore 1 and Minnesota 2. How can I not put them at number 2? They have been outstanding this season.
Yeah, and Minnesota just, again, last team to beat Baltimore, just proving why they should be up there here. Again, first season last season, and they're here now. Again, another undefeated team, Atlanta Swarm. You have superstar talent all over the field. Bryant Dynasty not being able to get the ball and score, throw a touchdown yet to Siege Falco or Jamal Wooding, but you got Hall of
That's
Famer
crazy.
Boo Chisholm. You got Kyle Finnemore scoring. Again, Hall of Famer BDG Hollywood. We showed his stat line earlier, Cam, and it's just he does it game after game, and it just proves why he is a Hall of Famer.
We got to talk about Vancouver before we leave. Haven't talked about them much tonight, but they're 2-0, and it kind of feels like they're playing with their food a little bit, Paul. I mean, they're kind of like Baltimore in the sense that the regular season doesn't mean much for them. They pretty much run away with the Pacific Division every season. They get into the playoffs, right? But then that's when the real season starts for them, and they haven't been able to deliver. But Vancouver looks strong. I mean, Robert Redford looks great. Christian Brown looks great. They picked up right where they left off last year, getting Chris Curtis more involved with Brett Killian, and Seattle hung with them for a half, but then Vancouver kind of pulled away. Back to Big Stanky's question about the Lions. You know, honestly, Paul, San Diego kind of reminds me of the Detroit Lions because San Diego has been down in the dumps for years. But this season, they have a new lease on life, right? They got a new coaching staff. They've rebuilt their roster. And Detroit had a very good season in the NFL this season. And San Diego's off to a hot 2-0 start in the SFL. You can also compare San Diego's offense to what Detroit was able to do in terms of points per game and the high-flying nature that they played with. And so I would say to Sankey that I wouldn't necessarily not root for San Diego, but in terms of a comparison, Stanky, that would be what I would look at. So that's a look at some of the storylines and teams around the league. Let's get back to the highlights. Louisiana at Sioux Falls. This was all revolution early. Liam Hammer on a punt return. This was a special teams kind of week. Look at Liam Hammer go. Picked up from those San Diego Mavericks from before. He's out of here. 7-3 Louisiana early. Punt return touchdowns are rare in this league, Paul, and that was a pretty one.
Again, what a beautiful run. Again, as rare as punt returns are, it's always a nice thing to see when we see a punt return on the highlight reel.
All the momentum with Louisiana. Tank Bennett with the interception. And Tommy Utah on the offense going to get it back. 3rd and 5 at the Sioux Falls 7. Utah's pass caught. That is Reggie De Niro with his first catch of the season. First touchdown as well. 14-3 for Louisiana. And Paul, we have another special teams play. And this really changed the game for Sioux Falls. Like I said, all Louisiana in the first quarter, and then A.J. Levy says, you like that? Oh, my. On the kick return, a pretty one at that, and Sioux Falls is right back in it, and even a little bit of showmanship at the end.
Hit him with the juke, then the spin cycle, and then was showboating on the one.
Tommy Utah fires into the end zone, and then John Barnhart gets the pick. Barnhart with 4 on the day. Tommy Utah with 6 picks on the day, yet Louisiana kept hanging around. Jason Williams, didn't hear him much of him in week 1, Paul, and he finally got things going as well just before the end of the half.
What a great addition for Sioux Falls there with Jason Williams. Again, didn't see him much there week 1, but finally turning it up here in week 2.
Look at him out of the backfield making plays. 13-14 now, and then Noe Terrasas wide open over the top. 20-14 Sioux Falls. Momentum now fully in the grasp of the Sparrows. Utah down the field, picked off. Jay Ringgold. There's another interception for Sioux Falls, which, by the way, improved on their blackout uniform set. This was a great uniform game. Had a lot of great uniform matchups this week in the SFL. 20-14 late third quarter. Julian Tyree down the field, and you can't take that chance if you're the last line of defense. Kay Marion, touchdown, and Sioux Falls is pulling away. But here we go, Paul. Liam Hammer now with a kick return. I'm not sure there's ever been an SFL game with 3 special teams touchdowns, but Liam Hammer just did that.
Wow. 1 on each side, Cam. That's impressive.
keeping Louisiana in it 27-21, but with 5 minutes left to go, Tommy Utah with a chance to take the lead.
Oh.
And A.J. Levy, who had the kickoff return earlier, picks it off and puts an end to that ride. 30-21, Sioux Falls for the win. Motor City at Canton in the battle for the Golden Dog Bone, and this game was won pretty early on. Cameron Curtis, Kendra Wells. Wells had a terrific outing. Over 10 catches, 100 yards, and that score. 7-3. Next possession for Motor City, who got the win last week. Creata's pass, picked off. Gary Clem. Canton going back the other way. And Motor City struggling on the road against the winless Classics, who were looking for their first win of the season. Cameron Curtis fires it. I don't know how that was caught. Twin screw, first down of the 20. Curtis, one more time. Wells, first and goal to the 7. I mean, Motor City, you could see it in the highlight, Paul. They're just on their heels this entire first half.
And Motor City just didn't come out with the right game plan against Canton here, Cam, and just, like you said, just looked like they were playing from behind and off balance all game.
Are you kidding me? Another special teams highlight?
They're
Al
everywhere.
Dillapre Sr.? Oh! Just got away! And he's out of there, and that sunk the V8's engine, ship, car, whatever. 21-6. Canton gets that score. Motor City didn't go away. 4 minutes to go. The V8's defense kept them hanging around. Christopher Dean gets the score, 21-13. Now 24-13. 90 seconds left, and Creata's pass is picked off by Bob Funk. After the game, Ashley Jackson caught up with Canton's Evan Lacey for an interview.
All right, everybody, welcome back to PGI with my good friend, Mr. Evan Lacey. He is the quarterback for the Canton Classics, coming fresh off a win. How does it feel?
Oh, it feels great. You know, my player is Evan Lacey. However, my name is Van Lacey. The player Evan Lacey is based off of my son, my late son. I created the player based off of him, but if you guys ever want to really get into the full story of Evan and why I'm here in SFL, please look at Ashley's show, her archives. So it is there. But yeah, we came out with a win tonight. We first week 1 we went against the great Arizona, and you guys are so formidable. It's really hard to game plan for you guys, but we did our best, and that's all we can expect. And you guys came out with the win. But tonight or today, we went against another good team, and we did as good as we could. We game planned. The coaching staff really did a good job of game planning for Motor City. Motor City came out game 1 and shocked a lot of people, but we were even game planning for Motor City before, at the same time as we were game planning for Arizona. So Mike Twinscrew, Chris Porter, the rest of the scouting staff and coaching staff, they did a really good job of game planning for this game, and it showed. It showed in the end. So we ended up getting a W, and we're looking forward to next week.
Indeed, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys are going to do and, make it a really exciting ball game. Thank you for your time. Really appreciate it, Van.
All right. Good night.
Good night. Back to you in the booth, Polly and Cam.
Thank you, Ashley. And now time for our last highlight of the night. Last but not least, Indianapolis at Tulsa. Tulsa in the bright red color rushes. My eyes! DJ Bandit off the deflection. One of the best catches of the week.
What a
Pretty
catch.
ball. Let's look at it again, Paul.
Tulsa puts points on the board first. Right place at the right time, like you would expect.
You caught a pass like this in your career? Look at that.
That I have not, Cam. What great concentration there by the tight end to catch that tip drill.
Someday, Paul, someday. 7-0
Someday
second
coming.
quarter. Colin Pierce striking back. How often do you see an 84-yard touchdown on a slant? Ryan Roosevelt shot out of a cannon for a touchdown, and it's tied at 7. We would go into the half tied at 10. Third quarter, this is when Colin Pierce's night started to turn ugly. Nate Heslip with the pick. 1 of 3 on the evening for Heslip. Too bad Nathan Barnett, or John Barnhart rather, stole his thunder. This, a good one though. Heslip takes it away from Banfield. And Tulsa gets the ball back. Next play. 1st and 10 of the 39. JQ fires it out to Gabriel Manning, caught for 26 yards. One play later. What a dime! How did JQ put that in the back of the end zone to DJ Hume? I still don't know how he made that catch. 17-10 fourth quarter. Colin Pierce. Whoa!
Snagged
Caught
it.
by Ryan Roosevelt. I thought for sure that was going to be picked. We're tied at 17. 7.5 to go. Pierce intercepted. He threw 4 picks in the second half after throwing 0 in the first half. There's Heslip's second. 2nd and 17, just over 2 minutes to go. Most controversial call of the weekend. Gabriel Manning not ruled out of bounds, Paul, and that ended up being the game-winning score.
And just what a great job by Gabriel Manning, just toe tapping on the end zone there, staying in bounds. Again, like you said, controversial call. We'll see that again here, Cam.
Right there. Ooh. Sure did look like it.
Yeah, it sure
look
did.
like it. Kanye Rockefeller tacked on a kick return towards the end of this game after Colin Pierce's 4th down pass was incomplete. Tulsa got a field goal, then Indy got a kick return, couldn't recover the onside kick. That was the end of that. 27-24. Indy still winless against Tulsa, 0-2, and winless on the road all-time in franchise history, 0-7. Let's get to some fantasy football this week. Johnny Reno, your number 1 quarterback, 42.1. Brad Jones, 54 fantasy points, Paul. Woo! Even beat BDG Hollywood's 47-6, making me regret not having him on the Player of the Week graphic. Stephen Hacker, 40 points of fantasy this week. James Matthew Jr., 22.5 for Queen City in the loss. At least he was the number 1 tight end. Hacker was the top flex player. How about Grant Hardaway? He is your number 1 ranked team this week with 164 points, despite Ron Cochran as his quarterback, but he got Matt Chima, 47.9 this week, that helped him out. Jaden Swift finished 8 points behind him with 155.9. And looking at all those top leaderboards, not a lot of Carolina or Charleston players tonight, expecting maybe a little bit more of a low-scoring game. Before we get to Mike O'Neill's breakdown of this ball game, before we hit the field, Paul, your final thoughts on Carolina and Charleston in week number 2.
I think this is going to be a good one, Cam. Like you said, Charleston trying to be the 9th undefeated team through 2 weeks of SFL action this season so far. Again, I think it's going to be a defensive battle. I did catch Charleston's general manager, Terrell Sutherland, on SFL Nights, and he thinks that Charleston's coming back. He claimed that they're going to have a top 10 defense here all season, so I'm excited to see this Charleston defense and seeing if they can stop this Carolina offense.
I should mention that it's week 1. I should also mention that Fox finished 3rd place because he's always shaking his head at me every single night I'm on the air. So there you go, Fox. Congratulations on your bronze medal. Can't leave without giving Skippy a big old smile. And let's go to O'Neill for the game preview. See you for kickoff.
Thank you, Cam and Paul in the booth. Appreciate you guys. Pleasure to be working this with you. Mike O'Neill here, guys. Welcome to ATS Matchups to Watch. Tonight, we've got Monday Night Football as the Carolina Skyhawks travel in to Charleston to take on the Predators. And look, last week, we watched Carolina give up a lead late to Mexico City. And I think this is a revenge match for them. They're traveling into Charleston, division rivals, to take on the Predators, who came out and shocked everybody in week 1. And I think Carolina wants to come out here and say that this is a statement win for their team this week, should they get the win. We're going to go over a couple matchups to watch here. A couple interesting things here. Number one, the obvious, right? You've got to feed Ike McBride the ball. Ike McBride and Hattori Hanzo in that 1-2 punch, you've got to give them the ball. I guarantee you they get 25 to 30 carries shared tonight, that Carolina has a really good chance of taking this one home. And that's not to say anything against Charleston. The only reason I'm saying that is because Charleston, this is a young team. Carolina's game plan into this game has to be, let's go in, let's go up early, let's control the game, and let's put this really inexperienced Charleston team in a position that they haven't been faced with before. So game plan for Carolina is going to be get Ike McBride and Hattori Hanzo the ball. Obviously, it's going to be tough whenever you've got Maul Rivers and Jack Brown on the other side of the ball, you know, staring you down. It's going to be a difficult task. This is a very talented Charleston team, but they're going to have to control the run of Carolina if they're going to have any success. So let's flip things over. Talking about Charleston here. Charleston is going to have to be creative on play calling. This is a good Carolina defense. This is a defense that held its own against Mexico City, and this is not a team to sleep on in the Skyhawks. Charleston has to come out here. You've got a former wide receiver running back in Saren Storm. Maybe utilize him in the passing game. You know, try and get him on some swings. Maybe try and throw some formations in there where he's lined up out wide. But you've got some good inexperienced, like I say inexperienced, they're young receivers. You know, let's get them lined up on the outside. Let's see what they can do. They did a heck of a job in week 1. Let's try and carry that momentum over into week 2. That's what I'm saying to the Charleston Predators if I'm in that locker room right now. So the key matchups you want to watch out for tonight: Ike McBride and Hattori Hanzo against Jack Brown and Maul Rivers, and Saren Storm for the Charleston Predators against that Carolina defense. I want to see Charleston come out and do some creative things. And with this, Kentez Johnson got clean in the pocket. They let Carolina's defensive line get to him. They have to keep him clean. He's got to be mistake-free or lick mistakes if Charleston wants to take this one home. Charleston is a good team, but once again, they are inexperienced. They're young. It's a young team. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. Good luck tonight to both teams, and we'll see what happens tonight on Monday Night Football. Back to you guys, Cam and Paul.
Thank you, Mike. Kickoff is coming up next between Carolina and Charleston. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
And Marconi escapes pressure and throws an interception, and Grayson will return it for a touchdown. We are tied. Rocco Marconi scrambling away from a defender, and Grayson steps in front of the pass and scores. Third down and 5, 1 minute to go in the quarter. Still no Bulldog as Bulldog wideout has caught a pass. Hart is out of the shotgun with Baja to his left, and Hart will hand off on a delay. No, he won't. Sacked in the backfield, Joe Dazzo on a blitz, and he's poking fun at Jasper Hart down on the ground. Joe Dazzo, forget about David Baja, he just creams Jasper Hart, and it's another 4th down.
2nd and 9 to the 48. Honolulu just one timeout left. They get the ball, leave with about 30 seconds left. Hand off Parker. Parker! Parker! Back attack! Tag! Down to the 6-yard line! Ball game! Between arguably the top 2 teams in the league coming up in a couple of weeks. 3rd down and 4. Zuli back to pass. Deep shot to Corky's wide open inside the 15 down to the 11-yard line.
Red Feather's going to have Brewski in the backfield, 2 wide receivers, and a tight end. Red Feather pump fakes once, right-hand side. That's going to be picked off! Picked off by O'Neal. Julius O'Neal with his first interception of the day.
It's panic time now for the Pride. Christensen throws. That's batted up in the air and intercepted. It's taken away and down the sideline goes number 20. Lucius Sanders put it on the board. Touchdown, Cleveland. Oh my goodness.
And here's the counter play to Zulu, and Ogun will go. He's his best run of the day, and Ogun Zulu will go for the touchdown. Wow, what a run by Ogun Zulu.
Unbelievable. And they're being very precise, like exactly what you wanted them coming out of the half. And Pickler dropping back. He's going to fire deep, and it's going to be caught. And he's at the 30 to the 20 to the 10 and taking it into the end zone. Nick Finch with a huge touchdown, and just wow, what a play from the Gladiators and the coverage there from the Tyrants. The DB went for the interception, and he came up with air.
1st and 10 from the 21 here. Just over 6 minutes to go in the 3rd. Chicago trying to uppercut this St. Louis Gladiators team and put them on the ropes. King, shotgun snap, moves in the pocket, fires deep down the field, caught at the back line! What a grab, and the first touchdown of Greg Soto's career is a spectacular one.
Greg Soto coming in replacing the retired J.C. Torres. Says, don't worry, Shane. I know you lost a great one.
This will be just under 32 yards for Otis Boudreau. On his left hash, the right footer stands ready. Spot is down. Kick is up. It is good. Otis Boudreau does it again in walk-off fashion. Louisiana taking down Florida 20-19.
They go 4 wide with the tight end split out. Stopped over the middle, throws another interception, and this time it's Jack Brown.
That one's going in the house.
Touchdown at the 36.
They call this, Colin, the law of averages. You know, whenever there's this many interceptions going on in a game, one of them's bound to go back to the house and get some points, right?
Oh my goodness. Now multiple linebackers have an interception, but this time Jack Brown turns around and runs it into the end zone.
And I'll tell you something. Deep drop for Dunhill. He's going to lob it deep. It's going to be caught. No one around him. He's going to be in. Touchdown. Forward Toros. Stephen Hacker does the robot and gets us off flying.
Welcome to Charleston, South Carolina for tonight's Impact Monday game of the week between the Carolina Skyhawks and the Charleston Predators, the 13th edition of the now named Corbin Cup. Welcome to Fort Moultrie Memorial Stadium. Alongside Paul Sarp, I'm Cameron Irvine. Eddie Gage and Damon Simeon are in the chat. And tonight, Paul, this is a rivalry that has years of tradition and has lots of opportunity for insanity to ensue. We've seen a bunch of crazy finishes, a bunch of wild games, and we expect nothing else tonight. Most of these games have been defensive. You saw the throwback highlight there with Jack Brown getting an interception with this exact uniform combination. See what we see out of Jack Brown here tonight. Trevon Prasad, $2 super chat in the chat with all Carolina. Predators win the toss. They will kick it away. And kickoff is coming up right around the corner.
Have won the toss and select a kick.
The teams are on the field. Charleston's in all black. Carolina's in their revenge grays. The ball's on the tee. And Brad Brechet's hands in the air. Let's go. Kick it. We're underway. Harish Prasad from his goal line had a kick return touchdown last week. Gets it out to the 23. He's still alive. And Matt South comes out for the Carolina Skyhawks to lead this offense. Last time they played, Paul, pretty good stats from Matt South. Paul. Oh, we may have lost Paul here for a sec. Matt South will start things off, and he'll fire it outside. That pass is caught for a 7-yard pickup to the 30. And Heath McDaniel Jr. picks up that for a pickup of 7 yards. Let's get to the Carolina Skyhawk offense. Matt South is the quarterback. Ike McBride, the running back. Hattori Hanzo at fullback. Receivers, Chase Earl, Heath McDaniel Jr., and Harish Prasad. Tight ends are Vince DeSantis and Xavier Solomon. Watch out for the left guard, Chris Cross, number 77 on the line, undrafted. Matt South's pass is incomplete over the middle, looking for Earl. We have you back now, Paul?
But we are now back here, and we got an interesting start here with Carolina driving down the field here on 3rd and 3.
There we go. That's a technical issue on programming side. Sorry about that, folks, but we're back. Only missed 30 seconds or so of Paul's beautiful voice. 3rd down and 3 at the 30, and South is hit as he threw, and the pass is incomplete, and that'll be a quick 3 and out. Moore Rivers, who demolished the Houston offensive line last week, makes a play early and forces a Skyhawk punt.
This Charleston defense coming out here strong, getting the 3 and out to start the game here, Cam. And let's see if this offense can continue to put up these numbers that they did here in week 1. Again, 30 points per game to start off season 20. Charleston's going to need their offense to keep up with their defense if they're going to keep winning games here.
Sasaj Grande with the punt for Carolina. On the return for Charleston, that's Honus Adobe, formerly of the Atlanta Swarm, and out trots Kentez Johnson. We didn't get to hear what you had to say about Matt South's performance last time these two teams played, but Johnson was not as fortunate.
Yeah, Kentez Johnson throwing 3 interceptions in week 14 of last season. Again, we're going to need Kentez Johnson to to kind of play a little safer here. And again, one of his arch nemesis, one of his biggest rivals, Monty Wyatt, picked him off twice last game they played. So let's see if Monty Wyatt is going to have another big performance against Kentez Johnson.
Johnson's pass caught by Davius Reed. Let's meet the rest of this Charleston Predator offense. The running backs in the backfield. Saren Storm, a former wide receiver. Nick Hoagland, a former fullback. Terrell Sutherland is your fullback in Charleston now in his 4th season with the team. Wide receivers, Honus Adobe, Davius Reed, Jay Hayden. Tight end, Brian Murphy in the center. Saint Nebuchadnezzar, the 39th pick of the rookie draft this past season. Hand off to Saren Storm, running right. Storm's got a first down and more. Storm breaks the tackle. Check that. Hoagland with the carry all the way to the Carolina 26-yard line. Nick Hoagland breaks it out for the Predator offense early.
And Nick Hoagland last week took over for Saren Storm. Again, Saren Storm moving from receiver to running back got hurt early week 1. So Nick Hoagland picking up where he left off here last week, Cam.
Yeah, he kind of immediately had to become the bell cow of this offense, and while he didn't find a whole lot of space last week, he certainly is off to a good start here tonight. 1st and 10 at the Carolina 26. Johnson is 1 for 1 to start. He fires down the middle of the field. This one is incomplete. Pass intended for Reed. And I believe Lincoln Kingseed was on the coverage for Carolina. Let's meet the rest of this defense. It is a stacked defense. 4 on the line. Ryan Ray, Christopher Colon at end. The tackles are Phil Hall and DJ Majesty. Your linebackers, Danny Stinson, Mojo McLean, and Shrivan Prasad. The cornerbacks, Tristan Hatley, Skippy Curtis, Davidson Joseph. Safeties, Ibari Aman Eaglin, Monte Wyatt, and Lincoln Kingseed. The latter two now in their 5th seasons of the SFL. Johnson floats one over the top. That is intercepted at the 7-yard line. Picked off by Wyatt. And Carolina gets the first turnover of the night as Kentez holds his head.
Monty Wyatt is just a magnet when Kentez Johnson throws the ball. Again, last time they played, Monty Wyatt picked him off twice, already getting his first one here in this first quarter. It's something that Kentez Johnson is way too familiar with, and just an unfortunate outcome from that play there for Carolina.
I want to know what Curtis's drinking game is in the chat. Maybe he'll let me know. 1st and 10 at the Carolina 11 off the turnover. Matt South flips it outside, caught by Vince DeSantis, his first catch of the night. Let's meet the Charleston Predator defense. They also have 4 stars on the line. Thomas Matthews and John Lawley are your defensive ends. Defensive tackles, Moore Rivers and Robert Cherry. Rivers, a former #1 pick and a 1-time All-Star. 5-time All-Star Jack Brown leads the linebacking corps with Geno McFly, the #1 pick in the draft, along with Kevin Brackett. Corners, Mark Martin, former Skyhawk, Tyson Thorne, Sam Blotner, as Ike McBride gets no gain. The safeties are Jacob Clear, Matt Ryan, and John Stamengo. McFly, the #1 pick in this season's draft, who was talking smack with Harish Prasad in pregame, had 1 tackle last week. I would expect to see more out of him tonight, Paul.
I would as well, Cam. Again, not a big performance by the #1 overall pick, so I'm excited to see what impact he's going to be making here tonight against Carolina.
3rd and 1, McBride with a couple of blockers has a first down at the 26-yard line. Carolina was criticized for not getting her the ball much down the stretch with a lead last week. She's got a couple of carries and a move of the sticks for Carolina here so far tonight.
Ike McBride, only 10 carries, 43 yards, 5 receptions, 26 yards in the air. Again, you got to get Ike McBride more involved here this week.
She is the single back in a tight set here. Might expect a pass to her. South looks that direction. McBride got a lane, picks up 5 yards to the 30. Nice closing speed there from Sam Blotner, who had a pick 6 last week, and then it brings up 2nd and 5.
Sam Blotner with a huge pick 6 for them last week. Helped win them their game and helped them start off 1-0 this season, Cam.
2nd down and 5 at the 30-yard line. 4 receivers in the pattern. South, back to pass, fires it down the field. That pass is swatted away by Mark Martin. As mentioned in pregame, the former Skyhawk does not have an interception or a win against his old team, but does force South into a 3rd down here.
Mark Martin with some great defense there. And that's interesting here that he hasn't beaten his former team here yet in 3 attempts. Third game here, maybe third time's the charm here for Mark Martin.
Matched up against Chase Earl at the bottom of the screen. Heath McDaniel Jr. is your 2 and Prasad is your 3 on this depth chart. Matt South down the field. First down catch for Prasad to the Carolina 45-yard line. Good enough for a Skyhawk first down.
Beautiful throw there by Matt South. And again, last time these two teams played last season in week 14, again, Kentez Johnson, not so good of a game, but Matt South, 15 for 21, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That's what Matt South's going to have to do again here tonight if Carolina's going to have a chance here to beat Charleston.
Prasad wrapped up by Stamengo on at the tail end of that play. South dumps it off short. That's McBride coming up underneath. Picks up 2 yards on the play. Martin and Clear combine on the stop, second down.
Yeah, that was a dangerous throw there, Cam. Again, that defensive end, he jumped up. It looked like he could have just inhaled the ball. But, again, ball slipped through, able to gain 2 yards there.
Carolina's 8th play of the drive. 5 passes, 2 runs so far since the interception. Picked off by Monty Wyatt. Handoff to McBride. McBride is swarmed in the backfield. That's Moore Rivers and John Stamengo dropping her for a loss to bring up 3rd and 9.
John Stamengo making a big stop there. We got third and somewhat long here. Let's see here if Carolina can move the chains and extend this drive.
4 receivers, 3 to the bottom of the screen. South out of the gun, fires, corner pattern, caught, wide open.
Whoa.
Chase Earl, 15-10, he's gone, touchdown, Carolina.
What a celebration there, too, at the end there, Cam. Beautiful
Pantsed.
throw.
Pants the
Beautiful
home crowd.
Throw. Let's take a look here again. Look at this dime by Matt South. No one in coverage.
Gee whiz. It doesn't get easier than that.
It sure doesn't, Cam.
That off the interception, a 9-play, 88-yard drive done in a little longer than 3 minutes. And that is a touchdown for Chase Earl. A $2 super chat from Ray Ray for the Carolina touchdown.
Chase Earl with a early touchdown here. Last season, Cam, he had 9, which was good for 7th in the league. Again, getting majority of the yards for the Skyhawks here last season. Again, making an early impact here.
Carolina Skyhawks past and present representing in the chat tonight. Chris Curtis says most underrated free agent acquisition of the offseason, Chase Earl, quite possibly. You are watching Impact Monday, the Week 2 SFL Game of the Week. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Adobe on the return, not much there. Gets it out of the 21-yard line. That's where Johnson will start with his second possession.
Again, let's see how Charleston responds to that touchdown by Carolina. Again, Charleston doesn't want things to get out of hand too fast here. So looking to keep it a close game here.
There's a look at Davidson Joseph at the top of the screen, going to be matched up most of the night with Reed. Johnson outside, actually with Hayden. Hayden with the catch, first down to the 38-yard line. Johnson up to 28 yards. Jay Hayden, an acquisition on and off the field for Charleston from Arizona last season. And they're hoping that Hayden, along with Robert Cherry and Jacob Clear and this very talented coaching staff for Charleston, can get this team turned around.
Jay Hayden had an impressive game week 1 against Houston Headhunters. He had 5 receptions, 54 yards, and it was good for a touchdown as well with a long of 20 for the day. Jay Hayden already helping move the chains here for Charleston.
5.5 to go in the first quarter. Jack Stato over under. Charleston, a 7.5-point favorite tonight at home. Over under is 50.5. Bunch to the left, top of the screen. Johnson fires opposite way. That's Hayden. Caught. Second grab for a 5-yard gain to the 43-yard line. runs into teammate John Stamengo on the sideline. The one-time All-Star brings up 2nd and 5.
Yeah, I like those little out routes. Again, you don't need to take the long shot every single play. You just gotta keep chipping away, get closer to the goal line, and get the ball across the goal line. That's the name of the game, Cam.
Johnson 3 of 5 for 33 yards and the 1 pick so far tonight. Now out of the shotgun on 2nd and 5. Johnson fires wide open to Hayden again. Hayden 3 straight catches, and they are backing off of him, just giving him first downs at this point, and Charleston's got the ball to midfield.
And when you have someone like Jay Hayden, again, terrific route runner. Again, you can't smother him, but again, you can't back off of him too much, or else he's just going to keep getting those little receptions like that.
3 in the backfield for Johnson. Line shifts correctly. Saren Storm on the handoff. First of the night, picks up 6 on the play. Hoagland's previous run was 25. So Charleston mixing things up pretty good here, now back in Carolina territory.
Again, I'm excited to see what Saren Storm does, since we didn't see a full Saren Storm game last week. But again, Hoagland with 25 yards, already almost at his total on 20 rushes for 27 last week.
Handoff this time goes to Terrell Sutherland. So 1 carry for each of the 3 backs. Slow to get up is 3-time All-Star Phil Hall in his 12th SFL season. Phil Hall, a legend.
Yeah, I'm sure they're thankful that Phil Hall got back up and was all right after that play. Again, he's a big-time player here for the Carolina Skyhawks. Again, 71.5 career sacks, good for 12th all-time.
3rd and 3 at the 43-yard line. Flip outside, Saren Storm got a first down and more, 35-30. Storm to the 26. Moves the chains again for Charleston. An impressive drive to answer the Skyhawk Chase Earl touchdown.
Yeah, Charleston needed it here. And again, Saren Storm, it shows that he used to play receiver. Again, the way he runs, it's interesting because he kind of looks like he would play receiver. But again, moving to running back here, getting the job done here early on here in this first quarter.
6-play, 53-yard drive so far, and Johnson is 4 for 4 for 46 of those yards. 2.5 minutes into the drive. Flip outside to Storm. Storm's got a block and gets 6 yards before Davidson Joseph and Monty Wyatt drives him out of bounds. 2nd and 4.
Let's see what Carolina does here entering, or Charleston. Let's see what they can do here entering the red zone here in Carolina territory.
8th play of the drive. Charleston in all black, white numbers, red trim. Carolina in the Revenge Grays with the bright red trim and numbers. Not much blue out there tonight with the black helmets for Carolina as well. That pass is hauled in by Hayden, just shy, ruled, of the first down. 3rd and 1 coming up.
This drive has been all Jay Hayden so far. That's his 4th reception here this drive. And again, pretty impressive to come out here and target one of your newer receivers. Looks like he's fitting in well with this locker room and figuring out the game plan.
Charleston just their 2nd third down of the night. They threw a pick on their last one. Handoff to Storm, and Storm is wrapped up. A brilliant tackle in the backfield by Davidson Joseph, and that'll bring up an early decision for the Predators.
What a great tackle. Stopping this offense who's been driving, which they look like they've been driving fairly easy. So to limit them to a field goal here, it looks like they're going for it here, Cam.
Will they snap it here early on, down 7? 12 on the play clock. Kentez playing chicken and Carolina not budging. We will see a field goal instead from Brad Brechet. Timeout for the Predators early on, down 7.
Again, just trying to get them to jump off sides there to try and get that free first down. But this defense here showing that they're not going to be tricked into giving up a free first down. So it looks like they are going to settle for 3 here. And again, what a great stop.
This will be a 34-yarder, assuming they do actually kick it. 34 yards out. just nice to see a close game in the first quarter, Paul, after last week. San Diego just piled it on London there early. We had to scramble to get a competitive game. 34-yard field goal for Brechet is good. 7-3, Carolina leading Charleston.
And not something that we're too used to seeing here to start this first quarter. We're used to seeing all these big highlight plays, long touchdowns, early kick return touchdowns. Where, again, more of a defensive battle here. So, again, keeping it close, 4-point game. Charleston giving it back to Carolina here.
Prasad with one catch so far tonight, 15 yards. Already with one return. He'll take this one from the 1-yard line. Prasad angles left, wrapped up at the 23. That's where Charleston will start with the football. Check that, Carolina will start with the football. We've both done it once tonight, Paul.
Hey, these things happen, Cam. Again, it's only our third week together here to start this season, but I think we'll get better here as time goes on there, Cam.
That's right. Blame the chemistry on being factually incorrect. I love it. First and 10 of the 23. South fires deep. It is caught in traffic. Chase Earl again down to the Charleston 45-yard line. 86 yards on 2 grabs. He's been indefensible so far.
Yeah, no answer for Chase Earl here. Again, another beautiful pass. It looked like he was going to intercept that, but he was able to steal that from the defender there.
That was Jacob Clear on the coverage. First and 10 at the Charleston 45-yard line, and Carolina's offense really looking sharp early. Matt South is 7 for 10, 135 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. Didn't have a pick in their last meeting with Charleston, a 146 QBR. Handoff to McBride. McBride almost broke out of Jack Brown's grasp, but helping Brown to make the tackle was Sam Blotner, a quite tall corner, 6'4", 220 on the outside.
And Ike McBride trying to get started here. A newer addition here for Carolina. Only 10 carries, 43 yards. Again, they got to get Ike McBride going, and they got to get the blocks for her.
Second and 8 at the 43. This is a handoff to the fullback, Hattori Hanzo. First carry of the night. Both of these backfields littered with talent. Kevin Brackett, rather, on the stop. Third down.
And Carolina defense proving why they were one of the best here last season, Cam. Last season, only 21.3 points per game and 334 yards, boasting both good enough for top 5 last season.
Crowd chanting defense. Third down and 8. South. Deep shot got popped after he threw it, and the pass is batted away by Charleston. That's Blotner again, having one heck of a first couple of weeks to start the season. Beautiful coverage.
Yeah, get the defense off the field. Let your offense cook here, Cam. Again, down 4. This is what Charleston needs. You got to get the defense off the field. Let your offense do what they do.
Pass intended for Heath McDaniel Jr. outside of field goal range, so this is going to be a grande punt, second of the night. And Charleston will have to try and stay outside the 10. Went for the block, didn't get there. Grande with a pretty good punt, pops it down at the 9. It is stopped at the 5. Good start for special teams tonight for Carolina. A ball stopped by Skippy Curtis at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, in a week full of special teams action, I wonder if we're going to get any special teams action here tonight, Cam, on Impact Monday.
They say Skippy Curtis doesn't know when to stop, but she was able to stop there. First and 10 at the 5. 24 seconds to go in the first quarter. Charleston's defense gets a stop. Oh, and Carolina almost got a safety. What a brilliant play in the backfield. Ryan Ray stops Storm for a 3-yard loss, and Charleston is now really backed up.
Yeah, what a way. Again, trying to get 2 points on the board again. If that punt bounced a little bit more, bounced differently, and they lined up on the 1, that most definitely would be 2 points on the board.
End of 1. Carolina 7 and Charleston 3. Corbin Cup, episode 13. You're watching The SFL, presented by APN Music on YouTube. Second and 13 at the 2. 3 in the backfield for Johnson. Handoff. Storm.
Oh!
Just got
one.
out of the end zone. That's Ryan Ray again with the second TFL of the night. They're in trouble.
Ryan Ray, again, making an impact here. That's all you can ask for. If you can beat the offensive line and get a tackle for loss, I'm sure the coaches here in Carolina are ecstatic.
3rd and 15 at the 1. Handoff just gets them out of their end zone. Looking for a number. I think that was Hoagland. Can't be too sure. Danny Stinson comes up to make the stop, but Carolina's going to end up with excellent field position.
Yeah, Carolina going to start off here, maybe possibly in Charleston territory. And again, dangerous situation here for the punter, kicking deep in the end zone.
Eric Blueberry, an undrafted rookie. They came after it quick. And Prasad gets it up to the 34-yard line. All things considered, not a horrible punt. We've seen worse out of that situation, but Carolina's in pretty good shape now at the Charleston 34-yard line. Liking the game so far? Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There is no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. Thank you for helping the SFL reach 10 years of operation through your viewership. 1st and 10 at the 34, 10:01 to go in the first half. Carolina up on Charleston 7-3. South 7-step drop, clean pocket, fires deep down the field. Caught in a bunch of coverage down to the 8-yard line. South up to 149 in the first half. That pass caught by DeSantis.
An absolute snag by Vince DeSantis. And again, Vince DeSantis, pretty impressive game last week. He had 6 receptions, 52 yards. Second most targeted receiver here for Carolina. So, again, beautiful catch, beautiful snag.
Stamengo on the stop, 1st and goal at the 8. Handoff, McBride up the middle, gets to the 1-yard line. McBride starting to heat up as well. Carolina can take a 14-3 lead. They're 1 yard away from it.
A 14-3 lead to start the game. Again, in a heated rivalry like this. Again, 13th time they've played each other. So they know kind of what to expect from each other. And Carolina just showing that they may have been a little bit more prepared.
2nd to go with the 1. McBride, touchdown. Carolina 13-3. And Ike McBride into the end zone to put Carolina up big.
There she is. Ike McBride finally getting started here. Again, just great way to get into the end zone there. Great blocking by the Carolina front. And just allowed Mike McBride to put 6 points up, and extra point will put 7 on the board for him.
5 early carries for Ike, 15 yards and a touchdown. Also has 2 catches for 6 yards. Prasad with a $10 super chat. $10 for 10 years of hype. Here's to 10 more.
Incredible.
Thank you, Shrevin. Appreciate that. And that extra point is good from Carolina's kicker, Malone Brown. 14-3. Skyhawks on top of the Preds here early. Obviously, a little bit of an upset so far as they're 7.5-point dogs tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Jack's data showing Charleston as a 7.5-point favorite. Again, Carolina coming out strong here early, and Charleston, they just need to get their offense going.
$2 super chat from Harish Fear the Smear. And RH Video producer, how the heck is he getting those stat totals so fast? Well, that's a credit to Eddie Gage and Damon Simeon in our stat truck. They're doing a great job for us tonight, and there are tons of crews, tons of stat people that represent each team doing a great job for us all season long to make our broadcast next level, to make it tip-top shape, better than any other league out there. 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. And Kentez will take the handoff to Hoagland on the carry. He's up to 25 yards. McBride 13. Paul, all these fancy games out there can just spit out stats at you and you don't have to do any work. We put in effort around here.
Absolutely. Again, you don't have these broadcasts just by turning on the stream and just talking. Again, there's some effort that goes in by everyone in the league.
Saren Storm had some blocks to the outside, but Storm looking a little gassed there. Only picks up 3. Phil Hall on the stop. Skippy with a $4.99 super chat with another hashtag Fear the Smear. I don't really know exactly what they're saying, but I do appreciate their support of the channel. One of these days, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble. 3rd and 7, the 28. 8 minutes to go in the first half. Charleston really got to get out of this jam, down 11. That pass is caught by Hayden, but he had to turn around and get it, and he falls short of the first down, and Charleston's going to have to punt again. The 1-0 Predators, who looked great last week against Houston, are struggling early against the Skyhawks.
Struggling is an understatement from what it looks like here, Cam. Again, just not what you ideally wanted here. Down 14-3. Again, giving the ball back to Carolina here, and this could get dangerous here, Cam.
Skyhawks now, or Charleston rather, now 1 of 4 on 3rd down. That comes from our SFL Studios' Chris Curtis. Carolina is 3 for 5. Prasad gets it up to the 32-yard line. Prasad is also fearing the smear in the chat. The East Division has been one of the surprises of the SFL so far this season. Atlanta and Jacksonville have flipped the division on its head, and Friday night, the unbeaten Jacksonville Kings will welcome the improved Louisiana Revolution to Florida for an early, critical East Division battle. Kickoff is at 8:15 p.m. Eastern, only on SFL YouTube. I cannot wait for that one. Want to see how Jacksonville looks in the division. 1st and 10 at the Carolina 32. South has been beautiful all night. That pass is intercepted. They're going to say it in the chat that I jinxed them. South throws an interception right off the broadcast jinx. And Charleston finally has life, and look who it is. It's Mark Martin against his former team.
Yeah, he wants that win, Cam. I'm telling you, 3rd time, he's looking for that 3rd time's a charm. And again, just not the best pass by Matt South. And one of the most interesting battles here tonight is Matt South against Kentez Johnson. They are both competing for 16th all-time in the SFL in completion. So it's going back and forth here tonight, Cam.
Split backs for Kentez. 4-down lineman for Carolina. Kentez fires down the middle, wide open. That's Davius Reed inside the 10, inside the 5. That's a touchdown. Charleston, and the Predators strike back just like that.
And the way that this game just turned on a dime like that. Again, getting turnovers, leading the points. Charleston answering here. First play with the ball. What a beautiful throw. Again, just beating the defenders. No one was deep there.
Blown coverage, and when Prasad, a linebacker, is going after you down the field, you know something has gone terribly wrong. Kentez tonight, 9 of 11, 112 yards, and that touchdown now puts him just shy of a 100 QBR. Although only 1 interception actually for Kentez tonight, as that extra point is good. 14-10. Charleston right back in this. First play off the interception.
Much needed answer there from Charleston. Again, that interception, it really turned the tide here on Impact Monday, Cam.
(14-10) off the kickoff. Prasad at his goal line. And Prasad gets it out to the 25. And Matt South will have to shake off the cobwebs, do it again.
And we're getting exactly what we expected here. Again, close fought battle by these two rivals. Again, division matchup, 13th time they've met. Biggest win being Charleston beating Carolina by 22 points 2 seasons ago. Carolina on a 2-game win streak against Charleston. Couldn't ask for anything more than this.
And off, Hattori Hanzo. Lots of room. Nearly gets a first down. And it'll bring up 2nd down and short. Mike Daggs wants us to call this show the Cam and Paul Monday Night Spectacular. What do you? I've never been a fan of having my name in titles, but what say you, Paul?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm a big fan of the Impact Monday, Cam. Again, it's the SFL. You got to make an impact. What better way to do it on Impact Monday, Cam?
Trying to keep it generic just in case we get replaced. Hanzo with a first down to the 42, and Carolina has shifted their priorities. Hanzo with back-to-back carries on this drive, and it's working.
And again, about getting replaced, Cam, I don't know about you, but I feel pretty secure. So you might have to keep an eye out. They might be looking to replace you here on this Impact Monday.
Yeah, they've been calling for my head for a while. It's rough out there. Got to get that Indeed resume going. 1st and 10 at the Carolina 42, 6:20 to go in the first half. Skyhawks still up 4, but Charleston grabbing a little bit of momentum. Jack Brown and the linebackers back off from showing pressure. Ike McBride to the outside. She takes an absolute beating, a 7-yard pickup, but a vicious hit on the outside by John Stamango, who is everywhere.
Yeah, John Stamango all over the field tonight here, Cam. Again, big-time player here for Charleston. Again, last season. 87 tackles last season, which led the team. Again, showing why. Again, just all over the field tonight.
2nd and 3 at the 49. Under 6 to go in the first half. South out to McBride, and McBride's got another first down to the 47-yard line. There's Gino McFly, Sam Blotner. Stamango in once again, first down.
Gino McFly finally making a sighting here. Doubling his tackle total for the season. I expect Gino McFly here. I think Gino McFly, #1 overall pick. He has a lot to prove, so I'm excited to see him make an impact here tonight.
First down, Carolina, nearly intercepted by Clear. And that pass is hauled in by DeSantis, 3rd grab of the night. And play 6 of the drive now coming up for the Skyhawks. 8,
Jacob
actually.
Clear almost picking that off. Again, all time. He has 16 all time. Again, someone who is a ball hawk. I'm sure Carolina is thankful that that was not intercepted.
South, heavy look, out to McBride. That's her 5th catch. That is a first down. The Charleston 37-yard line, and if they're not going to stop it, just keep doing it. Wrapped up by Blotner.
Essentially took the words right out of my mouth. If it's not broke, why fix it? So again, fifth connection there from Matt South to Ike McBride, and moving the chains here, trying to increase their lead.
3-back set. Under 5 to go. McBride takes the handoff. Stopped short by McFly. 3-yard pickup. 2nd and 7. Both these teams, Paul, are really they're kind of doing everything right. Very efficient. You know, the one mistake by both quarterbacks, but outside of that, almost every play has been for positive yardage. Both teams just continue to move the ball down the field. South fires it, and it's tipped up in the air and incomplete. I almost broadcasted cursed a second time.
Back to back.
3rd and 7. That would have been back to back for South, and then they really would have been coming at me for my head.
Oh, geez. Again, it's just this Corbin Cup, it's interesting. Again, both teams, historic franchises, battling for their 57th and 58th and 59th win. It's just who wants to be, I believe it's 14th all time.
Flips it outside short of the first down. That's Chase Earle's 3rd catch of the night, but first in a while. That is likely going to send out the kicker, Malone Brown, to attempt a 45-yarder. Put Carolina up 7. 5 negative plays tonight. 3 by Charleston's offense and 2 by Carolina's. 45-yard field goal attempt for Malone Brown. Perfection on the hold, and that kick is good. 17-10. Carolina back in front by a touchdown.
And Malone Brown 1 for 1 last week. Hit one for 47. Hit one from a familiar distance, and helps increase this lead to 7 for Carolina.
Coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report, SFL studio contributors Chris Curtis, a.k.a. The Colonel, and Tyler Falk, a.k.a. 2 and 10, will break down the first half between the Carolina Skyhawks and the Charleston Predators and give their keys to victory for the second half. It's all coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report. You can't see them now, but they are waving at you as the return goes up to the 23-yard line. Just for full transparency, they were not waving until I said that they were waving at you, even though they couldn't see you. And I wonder what else I can get them to do off camera. First down for Kentez Johnson and the Predators offense.
And Charleston, again, 3 minutes, 46 seconds left here in this half. More than enough time to have a solid drive here and send them into halftime all evened up here.
Johnson will fire it out to Saren Storm, and that's what Carolina's been doing much of the night. But the Skyhawk defense not falling for it. Storm has dropped for a loss of 3. That's Davidson Joseph with the stop. And Saren Storm tonight, 5 carries, 4 yards, and ticks down the receiving yards as well with that last play.
Again, Saren Storm just struggling here to start this season. Just looks a little unfamiliar territory moving to running back, but again, just gotta stay focused, know what you're doing, and just execute the game plan, Cam.
Kingseed with that swat down. I agree with you, Paul. He looks a little unsure of himself out of the backfield, almost kind of like a Ty Montgomery maybe looked at the early stages of his transition from running back, or from wide receiver to running back, rather. Charleston is 1 of 4 on third down. This is a toughie. 3rd and 13, down 7. Play action. Johnson with pressure at his feet. Ooh. Pass is tipped. Almost caught for a first down and incomplete. Oh, man, I thought Sutherland was going to pull that out of the sky and get a first down. Curtis was in the area, but dangerous play there from Johnson.
Yeah, just kind of lofted it into the air and just couldn't hit the receiver where he wanted him. And again, just dropped the interception there, and that could have been returned for a couple points there, Cam.
Curtis had 2 shots at it and was unable to bring it in, but if Sutherland would have hauled that in, that may have gone for a first down. But Charleston in the end is going to have to punt it away. If I'm Carolina, Paul, this first half has gone pretty great. You're on the road. Yeah. You lost last week at home. You don't want to go to 0-2, fall further behind in the division. And the Skyhawks have really come out, played a pretty great first half. Up 7, Prasad on the return to the 45-yard line. I was just waiting for a fumble there, just for Harish to blame me again for downtrodden Carolina things. First down to the 45.
To go off what you were saying, Cam, about Carolina, again, Carolina is looking for their first winning season since season 11. Again, bunch of seasons in the SFL. You have 12 losing seasons, 1 winning season, and 1 season at 500. And with a top 5 defense, as in last season, I'm just, as far as coming out tonight, they're just executing it perfectly.
McBride on the tackles. Revan Prasad in the chat with a $2 super chat saying nice catch to his player. Paul, if I ever would tell anyone I'm going to make $2 tonight by a player cheering on his player for dropping a pass, like, this is a great country. This is incredible.
It's incredible. What a place to be, Cam.
2nd and 11 at the Carolina 43 after the 1-yard loss from McBride. Handoff to Hanzo. Oh, Hanzo is decked. Jack Brown says, say hi to the family. My gosh. 3rd and 10.
2 huge hits in a row. Got Gino McFly last play.
He gave him some
now.
hot soup and put him to bed. My gosh. 3rd and 10 at the 44. Last play before the 2-minute warning. South. Back to pass. Pressure from Rivers. The pass is incomplete and almost picked. More Rivers forced that early throw from South. 2-minute warning. You're watching Impact Monday, Week 2 edition of Season 20, presented by APM Music, right here on SFL YouTube.
Mar Rivers doing what Mar Rivers does. Last week, 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, getting early pressure on on that play there, which is going to give Charleston another chance here before halftime to even it up.
He's been awesome. I mean, he really has. From the 22 on the return by Adobe to the 27. Think about Moore Rivers, just his career. He's the #1 pick, goes to St. Louis. The franchise is downtrodden, just not a winner at that point. And Rivers briefly retires, comes back into the SFL, looking for a new lease on life. And here in Charleston, I feel like he's found it.
Kind of finding his own again.
Yeah, he's proving why he's the #1 pick. Now, all those years later, Saren Storm with a handoff, just another 1-yard pickup. This run defense has been fantastic, as that tackle made by Stinson.
Yeah, Charleston again, just looking to turn back the time, be a top defense again. I believe it was season 14, they were the #1 defense in the SFL. And again, always been somewhat of a top 5 defense, but kind of falling off here recently.
Adobe with a big height mismatch at the top of the screen, and the handoff goes to Hoagland instead. This is some bizarre 2-minute offense. It's almost like Charleston is playing keep away from Carolina. They don't have a lot of confidence right now.
Yeah, I mean, when the offense just isn't clicking, I mean, in this field position, it's hard to feel confident.
Both teams with exactly 34 rushing yards. 3rd down and 8. Charleston is 1 of 5. Now they're 1 of 6. That is a mess. A pass short of the sticks to Adobe, who's out of bounds. And Carolina gets the ball back before the half. And Charleston's offense sputtering here at the end of the half. They have now gone 3 and out, back-to-back drives since throwing that 42-yard touchdown pass on their one-play drive following the Matt South interception.
And that's just, to me, that's just questionable play calling. Again, that play on 3rd down, that's something you would think you would see on 1st down. So, like you said, giving Carolina the ball back with a little bit of time on the clock here before halftime.
From the 33, Prasad on the return to the 37-yard line. Well, 43 seconds, 3 timeouts. What can Matt South and this offense do? 13 of 20, 188 yards, on pace for nearly 400. QBR of just over 90. We know Hanzo's in the backfield. So is McBride in a 2-back set. 7 in the box for Charleston. Handoff McBride. McBride is buried immediately. Tackle made by Kevin Brackett. Both run games struggling here. Carolina will burn a timeout.
Yeah, last season, both of these run offenses were actually, Charleston somewhat decent of a rushing offense, but you lose your running back Keith Swearinger, and then Carolina 94 rushing yards per game last season, which was 16th in the league. Again, just can't get it going here to start off.
South going to throw. 2nd and 10, deep drop back, tipped up in the air and almost intercepted. That is Kevin Brackett again. Elite first half. South, dangerous. We got to get Paul's reaction on a t-shirt. I would wear that.
Paul's what reaction?
I don't know how to say it. But it's not the Matt Wilson no, it's the Paul Sarp. 3rd and 10 at the 37. South, deep ball down the field, and is caught at the 41-yard line. 1st down and a timeout, Skyhawks, and they have an opportunity to get some points on the board now as Chase Earl once again makes a great grab.
Again, beautiful throw, beautiful catch. Again, you have a timeout left. Again, only need a few more yards for field goal range, so let's see what the offensive coordinator here in Carolina is thinking.
210 yards now for Matt South. 14 of 22, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. 31 ticks left. Need about 7 yards to get into field goal range. That pass is incomplete. Looking for DeSantis. That's just a missed-targeted throw. 2nd down.
That should have been some yards there for Carolina. So I'm sure Charleston is thankful that they couldn't complete that, and again, just trying to stop them, keep it a one-possession game.
2nd and 10 at the Charleston 41 for South, trying to get some separation from Charleston. South's pass wide open to McDaniel Jr., and he steps out of bounds with 24 seconds left. That's critical to the play calling moving forward, and what is going on with these receivers wide open on the outside for Carolina?
Yeah, it just looks like they're finding the open spots here in this Charleston defense, and what a high IQ play to step out of bounds there and save your last time out. If you get a couple more yards here, you can try to take a shot at the end zone, but again, the play clock's rolling. You have one timeout left to get your field goal unit out there.
230 yards for South in the first half. Houston scored 0 in the first half last week in this building. 1st and 10 at the Charleston 21. South going to the end zone and just overthrew his intended target. It was there.
It sure was there. Again, we could be looking at 24-10 here going into halftime, but just a missed opportunity by Carolina there.
2nd and 10. 21 seconds left. 3 wide for South. South, deep drop back, fires again that way, caught to the 5. 16 seconds left. Earl's up to 130. They're just burning them on the outside.
Yeah, Chase Earl just has Charleston's number tonight. Again, you said 130 for the night already in the first half with a touchdown. That's just impressive.
Skyhawks get another play. 1st and goal at the 5. Predators defense on their heels. 280 yards of offense for Carolina in the first half. Basically have doubled up the Preds. Carolina averaging 6.7 yards per play. A handoff to McBride, and that's not what they were looking for. Now the field goal team's going to trot out there.
You would have liked to see a shot to the end zone there, but again, running the ball there, using your last tight end, or losing your last timeout. My apologies there, Cam, number 2 for the night for me. But let's see if we can get 3 points on the board here for Carolina.
I mean, when you're 6 yards away from the end zone, they have tried to involve McBride, but she's averaging 2 yards a carry. And because you only have one timeout, you only get one crack at it. With the way that South has been playing, I'm surprised. However, Paul, South has put a couple dangerous passes out there, and Carolina may have just wanted to ensure 3 points on that one.
Yeah, and as they're saying in the chat, points are points, and to make it a 2-possession game, if I'm Carolina, I'm as long as you get points up on the board, I'm sure they'd be happy with that.
So it'll be Honus Adobe on the return. And Adobe gets it out to the 25-yard line. There's 3 seconds left. I would suspect that Charleston just run this out.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna cut their losses here in the first half, run the clock, head into the locker room. I'm sure coaches will have some words for these players before this second half, and who knows, Cam, we might see a whole new Charleston Predators here in the second half.
If you take out that one touchdown play, Charleston is going to finish this half with just 100 total yards of offense. Again, outside that one touchdown play as Storm is dropped for a loss of 1 once again. Before we get to Curtis and Tyler in the back at SFL Studios, let's run through the first half stats, highlights, analysis. 270 to 142 officially with a time of possession. Turnovers are all evened up, but it was a dominant first half for Carolina.
And Carolina just getting it done. Matt South playing great. Again, last time these two teams met, he only had 199 yards, already surpassing that here tonight in the first half. Again, just excellent quarterback play for Matt South. I'd like to see the rushing game get a little more involved from both teams. But outside of that, we're seeing some great SFL action here tonight, Cam.
Carolina 20, Charleston 10 at the break. The Skyhawks trying to get to 1-1. Predators trying to avoid a 1-1 slip. Would be big for the Predators to get out to a 2-0 start after getting the number 1 pick in the draft just 1 month ago. Highlights will roll on, but we'll go to the studio. Tyler Falk and Chris Curtis, you're up.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kim. Welcome into the 8 p.m. Music Halftime. Let's try that again. 8 p.m. Music Halftime Report is on the air. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Paul. It is Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk in the SFL studios. And Tyler, a 2-possession game between Carolina in Charleston against the Predators, the Corbin Cup in full swing. Give me your first half thoughts on a game that's tighter than the score would improvise.
Well, I think it has to come down to the quarterback play, especially Matt South's over or close to 250-yard performance to this point. And Carolina came out last week versus Mexico City, and I think it was an underrated performance out of all week one. And yes, they failed to eventually finish off Mexico City, leading by 7 points at the end of that half. They lead now here by 10. The main question for me is, can that defense contain Charleston? They've done an excellent job on third down to this point. Only 1 third down conversion from that Predator defense in the first half. It really comes down to, I think that whoever gets the first sack might just swing the momentum in their favor. There are no sacks for either team to this point.
Yeah, it's defensive lines not really getting home. Offensive lines playing fairly well. I want to touch base with you on some of Mike O'Neill's keys to the game earlier as well. Right now, things are going a little bit off rhythm of what the thought was going in. Ike McBride and Hattori Hanzo have combined for about 35 total yards. Charleston's done a good job containing that running game. They're forcing Carolina to be one-dimensional, but Matt South is still beating them downfield.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we cannot talk about Carolina after I would once called this town, Carolina, Swing Pass City. And of course, I think McBride has 5 passes on swing routes for a good chunk of 23 yards. But as we saw on the last possession for Carolina, Chase Earl and Heath getting wide open on the corner routes for what seemed to be almost every single time they would target them. It's just a matter of time before Charleston's able to maybe make a couple of adjustments here at half, but Chase is on pace for close to 300 receiving yards if everything does keep going on this train that we call the Corbin Cup. But it's going. I think the one person that we have yet to really see anything from is potentially one of the backup corners or the backup safety, Matt Ryan or Tyson Thorne, yet to make an impact here in tonight's ball game, but that would require Carolina spreading the football out, and that might not happen tonight with the way things are going.
And the way things are going, they're just going to continue to burn the sidelines until Charleston proves they can stop it. That zone covers and the safeties is not working very well for Charleston to this point. On the other side, you take a look at Saren Storm, the wide receiver, moved to the halfback position. Charleston's running game has a little bit better success as far as yardage than Carolina's, but still neither run game really getting going, and it's forcing Kentez into some uncomfortable spots.
Yeah, the most productive back is Nick Hoagland, the understudy to Saren Storm, and it shows that maybe a traditional halfback build or fullback convert to halfback might have been the better decision to go for Nick Hoagland. But Saren Storm, of course, former receiver, gets involved in the swing passes. He's more being utilized so far this season in that category. But Kentez, well, not as many passes, 10 less passes compared to his counterpart in the blue and red of Carolina. But it's been more of these short passes. It hasn't the longest pass, maybe to Davis Reed, that 42-yard long pass, but a lot of it has been give and go. Get the pass out maybe 10 yards at most and let the receiver do the rest of the work. And they're not
the old yak stat.
Exactly. Exactly. So they might have to try and test those defensive backs, but if Kentez throws another floater like he did in the first quarter, we might see a couple more interceptions for the Sky Gang.
Yep, fair enough. Fair enough. More to come from this Corbin Cup rivalry, issue number 13 in this saga. Appreciate all of you hanging out in the YouTube chat. If you guys are just joining and seeing the SFL for the first time, don't forget to hit up the website, simulationfl.net. You'll see a Discord link to join our awesome community there. That said, more of Cameron Irvine and Paul Sarp when we come back. This is the APM Music halftime report. More football to come between Carolina and Charleston. Stay right there.
Welcome back. Yeah, you get more of us. Cameron Irvine, Paul Sarp.
Just a little bit more.
Just a little bit.
One more half.
Eddie Gage, Damon Simeon in our stats truck doing an excellent job for us. Tyler Falk, Chris Curtis back in our studio. They will break this game down as it ends up once we are done here at Fulton Moultrie Memorial Stadium. Honus Adobe on the return does not have a catch tonight. Neither does Brian Murphy. The good news for the Predators is they will start the second half with the football on offense. And they got to find a rhythm. Like Tyler said at the half, Nick Hoagland outperforming Saren Storm second straight week in a row. They got to find some balance.
An interesting point with Nick Hoagland moving from a fullback to halfback. Like Tyler said, we got a fumble!
Ball's out, and the recovery is from Richard Skipper. How many skips do we have in this game? 6'5", 315. But, yeah, Johnson hit by a combo that was led by Christopher Colon, and that immediately puts Charleston behind the 8 ball. Back to what you were saying, Paul.
I lost what I was saying, but Skipper with a little skip to the ball, saving Charleston from a dangerous spot, giving Carolina the ball back on the 10-yard or 15-yard line.
2nd and 18. Johnson had pressure at his feet, and that pass is incomplete. Looking for Hayden. First time Hayden's been targeted and not come away with a catch. And this is not the way Charleston wanted to start the second half.
Yeah, I'm sure that locker room at halftime was not too pleasant. Again, not the way they wanted to start the first half, but again, you have one more chance here to get a first down. Let's see if they can get these 18 yards.
3rd and 18. They've been miserable on 3rd down tonight. Johnson is sacked. A 6-yard loss for the second time tonight. Charleston will be punting out of their own end zone. Phil Hall with the takedown.
Phil Hall doing what he does. Again, last season, Cam had 11 on the year, 6th in the SFL in sacks, 5th in the league in tackles for loss with 21. And again, Phil Hall helping Carolina get the ball back here.
No sacks in the first half for either team. 2 on that drive for Carolina. And Prasad is going to field it at the Charleston 40. And this is just setting Charleston's defense up for failure in a way, as Matt South will head back out onto the field. 16 for 26, 246 yards in the first half. That may be a career high.
Yeah, Matt South, he's just playing great, and he has a whole nother half of football to play. Again, let's see if he can set a career high tonight.
McBride, 9 carries, 18 yards. Hanzo, 5 carries, 17 yards. Hanzo picks up 1 to the 37. Wrapped up by Brown.
And with the way Matt South's playing, I don't think he'll do it tonight, Cam, but only needs about like 95 or so more receptions for 15th all-time and passes completed, passing Josh Miller.
95.
Yeah, I don't think he'll do it tonight.
We're all over the milestones. We're that close. Handoff to Hanzo goes to the 5. If he ends up now, I mean, he's on pace. He's on pace for 32. So, but you know what? It's good work for the next cruise for the next few weeks that have Carolina.
Yeah,
right, Paul?
I
We're givers
I don't think
here.
We'll see it tonight, but
We're givers on Impact
coming
Monday.
up here in the next couple weeks here, I think we'll see it happen.
South fires it. That pass is tipped up in the air and incomplete. He's not going to get to 95 receptions throwing passes like that. And how about Charleston's defense? A 3-and-out after a 3-and-out of their own. A horrific start to the second half. Boy, this defense really bailed him out of a jam. Malone Brown, is he going to kick it from 50? What are they going to do? They are going to kick it, 49 yards. So Christopher Colon and Phil Hall have an opportunity to give Carolina 3 points, along with Malone Brown's foot, 5'10", 260. 49-yarder with all that power. Bang through, 23-10. The Skyhawks increased their lead to 13, but it could have been a lot worse.
It sure could have. Again, Malone Brown, 2 for 2 for the day. Hasn't missed. I don't believe Malone's missed this season.
Hit the back of the net too. Nice kick.
That would have been good from 44 or 54, 53. What a kick.
Want in-depth statistics all season long? Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for info about the league and its 28 teams, and to see all the league records, team stats, player leaderboards, the rankings of the next class of the SFL talent, and so much more. Simulationfl.net, your home for everything SFL. Adobe returns it out to the 25-yard line.
And we see Honus Adobe taking over for Saren Storm, returning kicks. Again, Saren Storm, a top 3 returner last season, but moving to running back, they just want to keep the workload off of Saren Storm.
First and 10 at the 25. Johnson flips it outside to Storm. Storm finally has some room to work. Only picks up 3, though. Davidson Joseph has 3 tackles for loss tonight at corner because almost every swing to the outside has gone for a loss. That picks up 3.
They've just been answering everything that Carolina's offense has. So great job by Carolina defense here tonight, shutting down this offense.
Johnson wide open for the first time, and it feels like half an hour. First down to the 40. That is Adobe's first catch of the night. Charleston needed that.
Yeah, finally getting a big first down there. Again, haven't been too successful here so far, but finally getting something to go here. Let's see if they can take this momentum and put some points on the board.
First and 10 of the 40. Johnson hands it off to Storm. Storm spins back inside, picks up 5. One of the better runs of the night for Storm. Back to the Matt South needing 95 reception stuff. He has an opportunity here in the coming weeks to pass Josh Miller. That's nothing to sneeze at. Josh Miller's a 2-time champion. And, to get into the top 15 of anything, he's also 16th in attempts, 19th in yards, 25th in touchdowns. Pretty big achievement for Matt South, who doesn't have a lot of playoff experience, as Saren Storm starting to get cooking to the Carolina 48-yard line.
And Saren Storm surpassing the rushing yards total from last week. Starting to, like you said, finally get going here. So I want to see some more big runs from both of these teams here tonight, Cam.
McLean on the stop. Longest run of tonight's game, 25 from Hoagland. That's the only run of over 10. Storm just picked up 7 there. Handoff, Hoagland around the left side. Really nice open field tackle. Only a pickup of 1, wrapped up by Danny Stinson. 5th tackle of the night for Stinson. Joseph actually leads the team tonight with 7.
Joseph just getting it done. Again, you wouldn't expect a cornerback to be leading the team in tackles, but just all over the place here tonight.
Charleston's really kind of worked the short sideline. Carolina has worked the deep sideline with more success. That pass is knocked away by Stinson, incomplete. Looking for Hayden, who has now had incomplete passes on his last 2 targets after completing the first 5.
And the way that Jay Hayden's been playing tonight, again, just interesting to see the first 2 times that they haven't been able to connect tonight.
3rd and 9. 3rd down has been a devil for, oh my gosh, they're short again. This third down offense tonight is just bad, as Hayden comes up 4 yards short of the first down. Charleston is now a whopping 1 for 8? 1 for 8 on third down tonight. That's not going to get it done.
It sure won't. Again, you have to convert these third downs, and again, they're just not taking the shots that I feel like they need to be taking here on third and long here tonight.
Carolina comes after the punt but can't get to it. This is actually a pretty great kick. Going to bounce at the 3 and stopping at the 3-yard line. They keep the ball out of the end zone. Well played there by Tyson Thorne, who was quiet in the first half. An acquisition from Denver, this free agency. Makes a great play on special teams. Maybe that'll give Charleston some life.
And unlike from what we saw in the first half, we've been used to seeing Carolina start in Charleston territory. So I know I believe they had the one long drive, but interesting to see them start from the 3 here.
South almost threw a pick. Dangerous ball. Really surprised they even threw there at all. And the defensive line actually was coming around the right side. Thought they were going to do something with that. Incomplete. Brings up 2nd and 10.
It's just a smart decision to get rid of the ball. You feel that pressure coming on you. So instead of taking a sack, giving Charleston 2 points and the ball back, why not just throw it up to your receiver, try and make a play?
2nd and 10 at the 3. Handoff McBride with Hanzo blocking, leading the way, picks up 5 to the 8-yard line. That'll bring up third down for Carolina. Carolina is a bit better on third down tonight. They are 4 for 9. 11 first downs for the Skyhawks, just 7 for Charleston in this game.
And even if they can't get this first down here, it was nice to get some yards to kind of put your punter in a better position.
If South doesn't take a sack, and he almost took a sack right there at the goal line. Boy, they almost got you, Paul. Rivers with the pressure. Rivers continuing his excellent night, but you're right. They did get some space for this punt, thanks to the McBride 5-yard run.
And right now, this second half, it looks like it's just a battle of position and starting field position. Again, Carolina going to give Charleston offense another chance. And again, we haven't seen much from the Charleston offense. So if they want to come back here, they got to get things going here.
Fair catch call for at the 36-yard line. Charleston is averaging 3.7 yards per play with 7 first downs on 44 plays, 163 total yards. If you remember, Carolina at the half had 280 yards. So we have really crawled to a halt here in this third quarter offensively. Maybe Johnson can get things moving again for the Predators. 14 of 21 for 129 tonight. Johnson escapes the pocket and throws an ill-advised, not timed ball to Brian Murphy. This has gotten ugly here on Monday night.
It just looked on that play cam that if he would have just set his feet and threw the dart, I think they may have completed that, but he looked like he threw that on the run and just didn't have enough power, didn't have enough zip to get to the receiver.
On the run away from the play. 2nd and 10. Johnson hands it off to Sutherland. Nothing. Goodness gracious.
Yeah,
Phil Hall with
eat
the
that
third
up.
tackle.
It's just tough when you can't get that running game going. The defense is expecting a pass.
Carolina was up 21-7 in the third last week. They're up 13 tonight and still in control as Johnson's pass is incomplete. Again thrown short of the sticks off the hands of Sutherland. 3 and out. They got to punt it right back. Unbelievable.
Yeah, this is some questionable play calling. Again, we've been seeing it all night, Cam. They're just on third and long. They're just throwing it like 2 or 3 yards short of the first down marker, and the throws aren't necessarily always on point either, and not giving the receivers any room to run to make that first down.
Are you not entertained? Has never been further away right now. 4th and 10, Charleston. trying to once again pin Carolina inside the 10, and they will. The punt falls down at the 3. That's been the most exciting thing of this third quarter. Excellent punting from Eric Blueberry.
Yeah.
Is that a
Eric
fruit?
Blueberry.
Give me some fruit.
Need some fruit here in the chat. Again, just excellent special teams playing here tonight.
None of those raisins either.
That's the third or fourth punt we've seen within the 5-yard line.
Those are grapes, right? Grapes, blueberry, that's all the same. 1st and 10 at the 3. Handoff. Oh, McBride got out of the end zone and is tackled at the 2. Man, almost a safety. Stamango with his 6th tackle.
Again, it's just, it's tough to watch. And again, Charleston or Carolina extremely thankful that the score is not 23-12 again. They just got to get a couple yards here, get out of their own end zone here.
Oh, McBride with authority. Mike McBride, get out of here to the 21-yard line. From the moment she got the football, she put that team on her back.
Yeah, she's tired of hearing us in the booth here saying we can't get the run going, saying, here you go, Cam, here you go, Paul. I'm going to throw these defenders off me. Get the longest rush of the night.
Returning the favor to Jack Brown, who's now been put into bed and the alarm clock thrown out the window by Ike. 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line. Hand off to Hanzo, and Hanzo's crushed after a 1-yard pickup. Robert Cherry with the stop. Is cherry a fruit? Golly. What a mess.
Bunch of big hits here, Cam. You can tell that both of these teams, they're rivals. They're division rivals. Again, 13th-time meeting. There's history between these two teams.
Tyler with the I like Ike off camera. Swell. 2nd and 9 at the 23. South out of the gun. Back to pass. Deep shot. Down the field is caught. Outside the numbers. Once again, that has been the lone difference in this game. Heath McDaniel Jr. hauls it in.
Matt South just throwing that perfectly, putting it only where the receiver could hit it. If he didn't have it that much on it, that could have been easily tipped, and the safety could have picked it off and returned it. Just beautiful throw there by Matt South. He's just playing phenomenally tonight.
South's easily best pass of the second half. Now 17 for 30. South steps up in the pocket, goes down. It's Moore Rivers. What a beast this guy is. Loss of 6.
Moore Rivers, just an absolute unit, causing havoc behind the line of scrimmage.
He essentially feels like an entire defensive line. It's just him.
It's just him. And then there's
crazy.
3 others playing beside him.
It's just crazy how good he's playing to start this season. 2nd and 16. South. Down the field.
Again.
Caught. In between the hash marks. Chase Earl. Another great grab.
I'll tell you what, Cam, if Matt South had a dime for every dime he's thrown, he'd be a millionaire tonight. And hey,
Man.
I'm no mathematician, but that
well,
is a
clearly.
beautiful throw. That's what it seems
I don't
like.
know how many dimes get you to $1 million, but more than 95. Let's put it that way. First and 10 at the Charleston 37. South rolling now, 4 wide. Another deep shot. Caught again. Matt South lighting up Charleston tonight. Harish Prasad with the catch.
He's rich.
He is. He is. He really is. One of the better games I've seen South play in a while. He's cooking.
He's playing so well tonight, and this is exactly what Carolina needed. Again, trying to get to 1-1 on the season. Carolina just refusing to start the season off 0-2.
Earl, 179 on 6 catches. Outside, that's a new number for us tonight. Xavier Solomon with the catch. Second tight end on this team. The 4th pick in the draft. He was a touted player in this draft. Carolina went up to go get him. Makes a critical catch there in the red zone.
And I love that move by Carolina. Again, Xavier Solomon, a Lexington Miner. Again, great locker room guy. Great guy you want on your team. Great energy.
McBride going to lose a yard officially. McFly on the stop, the number 1 pick. So we saw the number 4 pick make a catch, and then the number 1 pick make the tackle to set up 3rd and 6.
Again, it's week 2 of season 20, Cam. These rookies, they're looking to make an impact. It's Impact Monday, Cam.
If Charleston stops Carolina here, they would keep it a 2-score game at 16. 3rd and 6 at the 9. South going to take off and run, and is brought down for a sack. Is that Rivers? No, that's...
I'm wondering the same thing.
That is Thomas Matthews on the line making the great play. And that ends the 3rd quarter, 23-10. But Carolina going to have to settle for a field goal. Put your 4s. 12s, 68s, 86s up in the chat. And we'll be right back after this.
Presentation of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
1 quarter left in week number 2 of our 20th anniversary season. Paul Sarp, Cameron Irvine with you. Damon Simeon and Eddie Gage tearing it up into Stat Truck. They've been excellent tonight. 28-yard chipper is good for Malone Brown, who's been busy tonight. 26-10. That is Brown's 4th field goal of the evening. And Charleston manages to keep it a 2-score game.
I'll tell you what, Cam, if we take Carolina offensive touchdowns out of the picture, we'd have a score of 12-10 here, where the kicker would be beating Charleston.
Ouch.
All by himself.
Good point. Adobe 1 yard deep in the end zone. Charleston offense ice cold in the 3rd quarter. 21 yards of offense. In the 2nd quarter, -2 yards of offense. Charleston, 19 yards for all you non-mathematicians out there at home. Since the 1st quarter, they've got to get something moving now.
It's just been so stagnant all night.
Johnson out to Storm. This time a little room. Nice pursuit, though. 5-yard pickup. Saren Storm now up to 6 catches. Feels like that's all we've seen, though. But, of course, Johnson only has 14 completions, so that probably is why. Just 8 catches for everyone else on the team. 3 receivers top of the screen.
I know Charleston's defense hasn't been playing the best. They're down 16, but credit to Charleston for keeping this a game. And as slow as their offense has been, their defense is what's keeping them somewhat in this game. It's only 2-possession game, Cam.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, this defense has done all they can with terrible field position to try and keep them in it. Charleston, 1 of 9 on 3rd down tonight. 3 wide, far side left, ball on the right hash mark. Johnson outside, opposite way. Storm needs a block. Got a block. 1st down to the 35, and Charleston lives to fight another day offensively. They have time, Paul. Just got to work it down the field.
It's nice to see Charleston finally pick up a 3rd down. Again, coming out driving here this drive with a little bit more energy. Again, a little bit better play calling. Finally getting something going here. So they just need to execute the game plan. They just need to follow through with what they wanted to come in here tonight and do.
1st and 10 of the 35. This is another throw, although it's pretty well covered up. They needed to get the block out there, and Storm only picks up 1. Can anyone stop the Baltimore Vultures? This week, it's the DC Dragons' turn. The Dragons lost 3 games to the Vultures last season and are out to prove this season will be different. Fresh off an overtime win in Houston, will DC make a statement? The Dragons host the Vultures Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern, part of a 6-game Saturday slate right here on SFL YouTube. And are they going to throw to Storm again? It's the only thing they got. Saren Storm picks up 3. This is what this offense has been for 2 quarters. Throw to Storm, not convert on 3rd down. They got to do something here.
You gotta take a shot at some point, Cam. again, on third, we've seen so many Charleston third downs, and I just don't want to see a little 4-yard play. I need to see Charleston take a shot. You got to put points up on the board sooner rather than later.
3 receivers for Charleston, 2 to the left, bottom of the screen. Play action. Kentez fires it to no one.
Wow.
They have run play action so much on third down tonight, and it just the total discombobulation. And Charleston going to have to punt again and put their defense at a rough spot. They're still in the game, though.
They still are in the game. Again, 8 minutes, 44 on the clock. A lot of things can happen in almost 9 minutes in SFL.
And games in this rivalry are known to get nutty. As Cruzado returned to the 29-yard line. Last 2 times they played, Carolina in this building took care of business 20-14. That was to end last season. Carolina also won home last season 30-24, so a couple of nail-biters there. In season 17, Charleston won 13-6, and Carolina won 30-27. In fact, just one game of this series dating all the way back to February of 2020 has been a 10-point margin or greater by the end of it. This is a 16-point margin as Ike McBride picks up nothing. McFly with another tackle. More great defense from Charleston.
And to go off what you're saying, Cam, again, Carolina has had the advantage on Charleston. Carolina's just had Charleston's number the past few times they've met, and just looking to do it for a 3rd time in a row.
Matt South on 2nd and 10 going long. It is caught. Man, Carolina's just making all the plays tonight. Vince DeSantis with a 1st down.
Again, it's just, from what I'm seeing here tonight, Cam, it's just the better quarterback is Matt South, and he's proving it throw after throw. Not that Kentez is playing awfully. It's just Kentez and the Predators, they can't get anything going, where Matt South, he's just having his way with this Predators defense.
Carolina is 7-5 in this series. If the score holds, this would be the largest margin of victory for the Skyhawks against Charleston all time. McBride picks up 2, running the clock. Brackett with another tackle, 2nd and 8.
And this is what Carolina's going to be doing for the rest of the game, just slowly bleeding out the clock, keeping the Charleston Predators defense on the field, not giving them a chance to score and get back in this game.
Flip backs, Hanzo with a carry, going to set up another 3rd down. It's Carolina's 12th of the night. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. 3rd and 8. Carolina's 4 of 11 on 3rd down. Trips, bottom of the screen, South out of the gun. South hit as he threw, pass intercepted. Defense does it again. Past the 40, 50, going back the other way, 35. Prasad catches the defender with the pick. That's Jacob Clear at the Carolina 31-yard line. And Charleston, after all of that, has new life.
Yeah, just like you said, Jacob Clear with an incredible interception there. Just giving life to this Charleston team. Ref 43, he got laid out there. But what a way to get this off. Maybe this is what Charleston needed to get their offense going. You have great field position here on the Carolina 31, down 16. You got to score at some point if you're going to come back and win here.
Since the first quarter, Carolina is outgaining Charleston 221-37, and Charleston is still in this. 1st and 10 at the Carolina 31-yard line. Nick Hoagland out of the backfield picks up 4. 2nd and 6.
I don't know what we're about to see here, Cam. Charleston, this offense looks energized after that interception. It looks like a whole new offense just after one play from what we've seen all night.
To your point, Hoagland's first catch of the night for 4 yards. Back to the 3-back set now on 2nd and 6 of the 26, under 6 to go. And a run. And it's Storm getting nothing. Davidson
You get the
Joseph
block.
again. Davidson Joseph, what a night.
Yeah, only 2 tackles the last time they met. What's that put him up to tonight, Cam?
8. 3 behind the line.
Wow.
And I think they may give him a 4th there on that play, although it's tough to tell. 3rd and 6 right away for Charleston. Johnson fires it outside, caught, short of the sticks. Carolina all over it. Great defensive play on the outside for the Skyhawks, and at 4th and 2, I think you got to go. Brian Murphy was the target.
I think you have to go for it, Cam.
His first catch of the night.
What a way to close out by that
They're gonna
Carolina
kick
defense. They're taking the 3 here.
Where's the
Interesting play
urgency
call.
tonight? Excellent pursuit from the Skyhawk defense. They have been terrific in the flats tonight. 39-yard field goal. He missed it!
No
Oh
good.
my gosh, are you
Wow.
kidding me?
Nothing can go right for them tonight, Cam.
Brad Bretschit misses. The 39-yarder, he just swerved it to the right. Oh,
That's just unfortunate. Again, Brad Breckett missing his first field goal tonight. He was 3 for 3 last week against Houston, and again, it just shows that Charleston just hasn't been able to get anything going their way tonight.
they get nothing off the interception. South over to McBride. 2-yard pickup. Brown and company in on the stop. There's the updated quarterback numbers. And when you look at Johnson's numbers, it doesn't look bad. I mean, it's not like he's thrown 5 picks tonight. They just no juice.
The third downs have been killer for
Yes.
Charleston tonight.
South trying to get to 400. Carolina's passed out of this formation all night long. The repetitive of both offenses have been nauseating in moments. 2nd and 8 at the 31. McBride outside past the 30, and Ike McBride!
Ooh.
First down to the 41-yard line. Carolina's playmakers continue to make plays all night long. Skyhawks have another first down.
And again, Carolina just doing what Charleston hasn't been able to do and converting these third downs. What a truck stick there by Ike McBride. Again, that's the second time we've seen Ike say, "Get off of me. I want the first down."
Sam Blotner laid out. Now the clock will continue to move under 4. Carolina in no hurry whatsoever. Charleston most certainly is not going to cover this evening, and the under's going to hit. Same formation. You know, this formation could keep Charleston in the game if Matt South does something foolish. But McBride, all kinds of room to the outside. I mean, that's what's happening
Getting
here.
right back.
They're going into the heavy set, and they don't have a run out of it. McBride makes another catch. To McBride's credit, she's now averaging 5 yards a catch, 8 catches, 40 yards. Not too shabby out of the backfield.
Hey, even if they're not going to run it there, I mean, as long as you're staying in bounds, let that clock tick, Cam. Again, 3 minutes left on the clock, up 16. Carolina, I feel like Carolina's sitting pretty right now.
82 yards of total offense on 23 touches from McBride, and a touchdown tonight. 2nd and 5. Here we go again. This time, McBride is covered, and Matt South throws it away. There was a receiver in the area.
He had a lot of room to run if that throw was on point.
Yeah, it's almost like the screen was taken away. Good job by Charleston. But it's almost like South panicked. He did actually have an open receiver downfield and way overthrew him. 3rd and 5. Stops the clock. Earl, top of the screen. Still sitting at 179. Handoff. McFly, yet another tackle. McFly now with 9 on the evening. And Charleston's defense once again gets off the field.
Again, the Charleston defense has been able to get off of the field tonight. It's not the defense from Charleston, it's the offense. Just not able to get any points up. Can't win games putting up 10 points when you're letting up 26.
Huge shout out to the SFL community staying up over 100 despite the offensive woes in the second half. Viewing this game, you guys have been awesome all night long. Carolina snaps it before the 2-minute warning. I just don't understand. And that is hauled in by Adobe. Actually, I think the play clock would have ran out on them. They had to snap it. 1:55 to go in the fourth. Charleston needs a miracle. Down 26-10. It's been a rough night. Skyhawks trying to put this game to bed. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on YouTube. You're watching the Cam and Paul Monday Night Spectacular, 1st and 10 at the Charleston 18. Go to bed, Mike. As Johnson fires it down the field, incomplete. Don't go to bed, Mike, for real, though. That's terrible advice. Wyatt with the deflection had a pick earlier, 2nd down.
Trying to take the shot there, Cam, it's a little too late to be taking the shot. I mean, obviously there's still 2 minutes left, and anything can happen, but if I was Charleston, I wanted to take that shot in the first quarter to set the tone for the game.
5 yards per attempt for Kentez Johnson, not a completion attempt. QBR is 79. 2nd and 10. Johnson outside, caught Reed, short of the first down, but he did get out of bounds. 3rd and 1 coming up.
This might be one of the shortest 3rd downs that Charleston's had tonight. So let's see if they can change their luck a little and convert this 3rd and 1 rather than 3rd and long.
Charleston 19 targets to non-running backs, 10 catches for running backs this evening. 3rd down and 1, 1:47 to go. Charleston staring 1 and 1 in the face. They are at Alamo City next week. 3rd down and 1. Pass from Johnson is caught. That's a 1st down.
Here's the urgency.
Yep, Jay Hayden makes the catch. No huddle here. Pass, Hayden, caught. Can't get out of bounds. 9-yard pickup, 90 seconds and counting. Need a little bit more.
Again, all 3 timeouts left, but you want to save that. You want to score quick here and try to save those timeouts.
Yeah, you don't want to have to burn any timeouts on this drive. Jay Hayden picks up another 1st down to the 42-yard line, racking up the numbers. Nearly 10 catches now on the night, but more one-dimensional offense out of Charleston. As again, Hayden gets the catch. It's only for 4 yards. Got nothing left. 2nd down and 6, a minute to go.
You almost want to see an incompletion to try to stop the clock so they can catch their breath.
Totally agree. Johnson's pass. Well, caught by Hayden, now down to the 20-yard line. Well, maybe it is going to work all the way down the field. Hayden up over 10 catches. No other receiver has more than 3. 40 seconds left. They have successfully not burned any timeouts. Johnson got to take a shot at some point. Hayden catches it again. Now they got to burn a timeout. And now they're really underwater. Took too long.
Yeah, just a little bit too late for this Charleston offense here. Again, finally coming alive. So it's great to see the Charleston offense moving down the field. But again, you just caught fire too late.
Change the set. 32 seconds left in the 4th quarter. 2nd and 4 at the Carolina 14. Johnson, 3-step drop. Fires it over the middle of the field, and more defensive line pressure causing an incomplete pass. That's Ryan Ray again. He's had a great evening.
We've said his name time and time again tonight. Just really coming out tonight and just making an impact. Cam, it's Impact Monday. That's what the players do on Impact Monday. You got to make an impact.
It's just solid branding. That's all it is. It's just solid branding. 257 now, total yards of offense for Charleston to Carolina's 431. 3rd down and 4. Play action on 3rd down. Pass this time is caught by Reed. Kick it out of bounds. Another great open field tackle in the flat. Look who it is. It's Davidson Joseph again. Just been a monster tonight.
He came in and handled business. He did what he had to do to help Carolina get this win.
1st and goal at the 5. 1 timeout for Charleston now. Carolina clinging to their 16-point lead. Johnson pass in zone, knocked away. Incomplete. Looking for Murphy. 2nd and goal. Stick around after the game. We'll send it back to SFL Studios where Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk will break down this Carolina-Charleston matchup, put a bow on Week 2, get you ready for Week 3 after the game right here on SFL YouTube. Second and goal with a 5. Johnson. End zone. Touchdown. Still alive. Davius Reed with the score. Now they'll go for 2. Boy, if you're Carolina, this is just downright painful.
Again, 16 seconds left. You gotta convert here. You gotta get the onside kick. And at that point, you have what, 15, 14 seconds left to make a big play and then do it all over again, score another 2-point conversion. Hey, Cam, we might be seeing extra overtime here tonight.
Oh, my gosh. After all we've been through. Johnson, audibling. Going to throw for 2, and it's
that
not
won't do it.
That saves
That'll
us all.
do it.
Pass incomplete. As I'm pulling a real Al Michaels here tonight. It's after London and San Diego last week where we had all those fireworks. It's just been a little tough. Danny Dorito with the pass deflection. That's what it's come to. Onside kick from Brechet. And Carolina safely secures. And they'll be able to take some knees. Well, for the Skyhawks, they're going to get to 1-1. And that Mexico City loss looking pretty good. Mexico City had a nice outing against Baltimore. Couldn't get it done. Lost 34-20. But Carolina goes into their bye week with some momentum. They will be at home against the Fort Worth Toros on February 5th. And, that's going to be an interesting ball game.
I know there hasn't been a whole lot of flares tonight, a whole lot of fireworks, but again, this was an interesting game. Again, it started off a lot closer, and then Carolina they broke away, and Charleston just couldn't seem to catch up to the Skyhawks.
One more kneel down for Matt South. Both teams head to 1-1. That means Baltimore is on top of the Atlantic at 2-0. DC also now 1-1, so nobody in the division sub 500. That's a wrap. Carolina beats Charleston 26-16. Let's send it back to the studio for your postgame coming up.
And with that, welcome into Sim Football Postgame presented by APM Music. Chris Curtis, Tyler Falk in the SFL studios. And Tyler, Carolina comes in, takes care of business, a 10-point win on the road against the division rival in the Corbin Cup. Heads to Raleigh. Your thoughts on a rather ho-hum win for Carolina, which we don't see very often?
Well, they'll take it. They will take it with everything they've gone through the last couple of seasons. For Charleston, however, I got maybe one word to describe that offense and special teams in the second half, and just in general, toothless. Just toothless. You call yourselves the Predators and can't put up a touchdown except in garbage time. It was embarrassing. Lots of play action that just had nothing doing. No real originality in the passing game to maybe spark some creativity, maybe spark a comeback. Carolina just cruised to the victory in the second half.
Yeah, I couldn't quite gum them to death without the teeth. And the conclusion of the Cam and Paul Monday Night Spectacular. Thanks, Mike Dykes, for that. Charleston has some work to do. No doubt about that. Got to get more creative on offense. Got to get Kentez in more comfortable spots. They kind of abandoned what their original game plan was. They wanted to try to work on containing on defense what the running game of Carolina was going to do. Ike McBride was having none of that, and Kentez and company couldn't get the field position to make it work on the offensive side.
it was 43 or thereabouts. Hard, tough running, especially backed up deep in their own territory. Late on in the third quarter, just bulldozing her way through defenders, finding yards, putting up a total just right around 84 combined yards receiving and rushing. A solid day from Ike as they get Matt South is a little bit more comfortable, 300 and close to 80 yards passing on the night. And really, it just looked like Carolina's football game. They turned Fort Lauderdale into their own house for that second half, really denying anything Kentiz can do. Way too awkward in the passing game for Kentiz. Lots of weird jump across their shoulder passes, just lots of ill-advised throws. Luckily for Kentiz, didn't throw another pick, but lots of incomplete passes, lots of passes that just found turf rather than his own wide receivers. So something that Charleston will have to look over again in film this week and come out firing in week 3.
Appreciate that. Skippy opens the door to the office, hands me her jersey. I told her that if Carolina won tonight, I would wear the jersey on post game, and here we are. So straight from Sector 6 to your living room or your office, wherever you happen to be watching. And that is where that goes. So Carolina, we'll talk about them for just a moment. They have the bye week, as Cam mentioned, and they have Fort Worth next up on the schedule. That is going to be a tough test for this Carolina roster. Have they turned the corner? I think we find out in a couple weeks.
Oh, that should be interesting. Fort Worth, maybe a little bit of a turnaround from themselves. Their defense looks like from the original season, their inaugural season, that defense was legit. Their defense, again, looking pretty tough. Offense starting to pick things up. This should be almost an identical looking matchup for Carolina to go off. An extra week to prepare along with Fort Worth. So it'll be fun to watch that football game in week 4. Charleston, the defense was good. They if the offense would have had something, the defense was right there, only holding Carolina to a few field goals. I wouldn't really change too much defensively. It's the offense that needs most of the work.
Yeah, a gritty win offensively, especially in the run game for Carolina. They did not give up on it, and it paid dividends later on in the game as they wore down that defense. Good stuff from them. Good stuff from the Impact Monday crew. Eddie and Demond on stats, Cam and Paul in the booth. Tyler, you've been awesome as well, and I'm Chris Curtis saying goodbye and good night to week 2 of season 20. Week 3 is just a few days away, and on behalf of Tyler, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
He stole your line.
My line! He stole my line!